Hey, oh, there you guys are. I think it just came out here. Yeah. I lost you there for a second. It made me scared.
Well, he kicked it.
Yeah.
Are we rolling?
We're rolling now.
We are rolling.
We're all rolling. Okay.
Hey, guys.
Do you have like an intro that you do, or do you just?
Yeah, I just kind of wing it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, wait, this is premium. They're going to see it. I can't help it.
What?
My
Get the
feet.
premium
Oh.
content.
Premium
the
content. Right
Make
there.
them pay.
Yeah.
You guys got to pay for that.
You can block it out if you want. I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Perfect.
Cover it up.
All right, here
I'm
we
not
go.
gonna complain.
You can, though. It's fine.
No.
Oh, where's my drink?
Thank you. Okay, and we'll go 3, 2. Welcome back to the Tipsy Theology podcast. Sometimes we yell.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
We're doing casual episode today, which is why we have couches. Casual couches.
Casual Friday.
Is it Friday?
Saturday.
It's
Scheduled
Saturday.
Saturday.
What rhymes with casual? None of the days.
Saturated Saturday.
Everything ends with the same.
Everything ends with day.
Everything is DAY. So.
But yeah, so we got some people here today.
Some.
We got some
Just a
people. We got Blake, who's been hiding in the background for
Just
our
a little
episodes.
bit.
He's the one who tells us that we're wrong. And we need to get our
Gotta let
facts,
y'all know, you know?
get our facts straight. So welcome, Blake.
Nice.
Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah.
it. Glad to be here.
Yeah. And then we got Christian, or Christofanos.
Christoph.
I didn't know that was.
Christianian.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the one.
I'm just giving names, I guess.
And then his girlfriend, Maddie.
Hey.
Laser
Welcome.
tag.
Laser tag. Yeah, do you want to...
Start that off with
So if for people listening that aren't watching, she's got like an echo, like a... What are those? Like
It's a laser tag vest.
exoskeleton?
A back brace.
Yeah,
back
that's the
brace.
one.
But it very unironically looks like a vest you would put on while you're playing laser tag.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've decided to call her laser tag.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you like that.
No. But it's spread because now my family calls me laser tag. So it's
Yeah.
like.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna change your name in my phone.
I was
I
going
think-
to.
Did you
and
do? He was like, I'm
I
going to switch
didn't.
it.
I was
Yeah.
going to, but I didn't. That would be too mean.
Just for a little bit.
Just for a season. Till she gets out of it.
For the next
Yeah.
6 to 8 weeks.
Well, she's supposed to. Yeah, she's supposed to wear it for 6 to 8 weeks. So
Ooh, that's gonna be
That's
rough.
I
crazy.
guess it wouldn't last that long. I guess it would be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. Well,
what it
anyway.
That's
So today we're not really talking about anything in particular. We're just sharing stories. It's Story Saturday.
Story time.
Story time. Story time
What do we
with the Tipsy
like?
Boys.
Do we have like a?
Even though I'm literally just drinking
Is there-
sparkling water.
Oh, me
Sober
too.
Saturdays.
Sober
Sober
Saturdays.
Saturdays. As
That's not usually how I spend my Saturdays.
Yeah, this is going against your whole podcast.
I can remember everything today, and that's weird for me.
yeah, last time I came over, Paul was like, let's just
Half
say
a
it was
bottle
bad.
in.
He was half a bottle in when
it
I
bad?
walked in the door. Well, you were like,
It
I
was
was
whenever
like-
you were casually sitting, just
I was like, that's a different Paul right there.
Oh, you noticed.
I did. Oh, 100%.
Half a bottle in. He's like,
You're-
oh, I
you were a
noticed.
little bit louder, just as that.
Oh,
But
no.
you were like very with it.
Oh,
Yeah.
like
You're present.
Well, no. So I am what we classify as sober drunk. So the more sober I am, the more drunk I sound, and it has the inverse effect.
I
Mm.
like that.
I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but that's what I thought.
I mean, you just seemed like you were just. You seemed like you had only gotten 3 hours of sleep.
Oh, so just out of my mind.
Yeah, sure, something like that.
It's crazy.
So do we have like a? Tell me a time when.
Yeah. So we have a UFO on our TV right now.
You're welcome.
Literally on the. I was like,
Literally
that
on
is,
the TV.
It's like
that is
on the
stained
TV.
glass. I was like, that is
It's
stained
on the
glass.
top.
It's kind of sick.
It's you have to find it.
I like.
I
I
like
like
that.
that.
Little Easter egg.
Yeah.
Not anymore because I pointed it
Because
out.
you pointed it out.
Yeah.
Well.
There's other Easter eggs.
I was gonna say what it was, but then
Speaking
I
of
realized
Easter
I
it
don't.
didn't.
There aren't any.
Oh, okay.
But
I was-
that's maybe that's just a red herring.
Mm.
They don't know. No, so this is kind of a dual purpose. One, because I feel like I don't often share a lot of my own personal stories and weird stories. I share some, but never in like a full story format. It's kind of like a little tangent that I go on.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, I want to tell some stories, but I also want you guys to tell stories too. And it's Tipsy Theology. We talking about weird stuff. And just as a side point, it's crazy. You can see how loud my peaks are versus everybody else.
Yeah. It's because you're talking
just
straight
yelling.
into the.
You're
diaphragm.
yelling right at us.
Yeah, I love just making out with the microphone.
Yeah. Are you a worship leader?
I am. I don't have my skinny jeans.
No skinny jeans or denim jacket today.
Yeah. Dude, they've been going all denim now. They switched from flannel.
Yeah. You see that a lot now. It's kind of weird.
I like denim,
Yes.
don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah. Maddie loves denim.
Okay. Okay.
Denim shoes.
No, she doesn't.
Tell us about that.
I
Maddie.
hate denim. Absolutely hate denim.
That's mean.
Okay, laser tag.
Well, I hate back braces.
Okay, guys. All right.
That's why we brought you.
What, no good? Too far?
You're our comedic relief.
Yeah. She's
Nah,
got thick
I'm
skin.
chill. I got thick skin.
She's not good.
Maybe we should all go
that
jump.
suit of armor you have on.
Yeah. I was gonna make a cliff joke, but I didn't.
Yeah, they don't know. So
Oh, you guys don't know what happened.
Oh wait,
Am
so
I-
we can start the first.
Yeah,
the
so basically I
story.
was saying, like, let's just tell some weird stories.
Okay.
We're Tipsy Theology, let's make it crazy.
Okay.
Since we're not really drinking, you guys are, but we're not.
Yeah.
So when we're not tipsy, the theology has to be even tipsier.
Okay.
That's kind of the rule here.
okay.
So let's tell some weird dreams. Let's tell some weird supernatural experiences. Let's just have fun with it.
Yeah.
That's what we're here. But what happened?
So I jumped off a cliff and I almost
Hold the mic
died.
up a little bit.
Oh, so sorry.
You're welcome. I
Um,
mean, you're okay.
I'll hold the mic up. Don't worry. Am
Yeah.
I supposed to be
This
looking
is
at you
literally
guys,
water.
or am I supposed to be looking at the phone?
Wherever
Like-
you
You can
want.
look wherever you want.
There's people here, so.
Yeah.
But
a-
people are listening, so it's also like,
Okay, I'm just gonna look at you guys.
yeah,
'cause-
we're having a conversation.
Yeah.
All right. Um,
All right.
so
Relax, Christian.
so I went cliff jumping last Friday in
Where?
Oklahoma. And it was like a 2-mile hike up to the mountain that we were jumping off of. It's called 10 Killers. And my friend and I, we both jumped like off of like there's 3 of like cliffs or whatever. So there was like a 15-foot one, a 30-foot one, and then there was a 70-foot one. And so like we went and we were like, oh, let's just go off the 15-foot and we'll just work our way up. So we jumped off of that one like twice. And then there was like a group of other people and they took over the middle one. So she was like, just go to the top, like we'll be fine. So she was like, I'm not gonna jump because she had scoliosis and didn't want to hurt her back. But I also have
Foreshadowing.
yeah. But I also have scoliosis and I was
Oh,
like
no. I did not know that.
yeah. And I was like, I'll literally be fine. Like, don't worry. But like, we're walking up this cliff and
Just last words.
she's like, oh, do you know why it's called 10 Killers? Because 10 people have died on this cliff, which was actually true because there was
Low
a guy
numbers.
who had died like 10
That's
days
crazy.
prior on the same cliff.
10 days.
Oh, 10 days prior. Oh,
He
wow.
had
10
died
days.
10 days prior on this cliff.
Did you know this before you jumped?
I didn't know it
She
before.
didn't.
Okay.
I
okay.
knew it after.
Holy
Okay.
cow.
But I was also like, oh, and it'd be really cool to go on like a boat too. So it ended.
Just move the mouse.
Oh.
Yeah, you could. just
So
move
I
the
ended
mouse a
up
little.
jumping off of the cliff and like I like heard my neck snap and I ended up like going numb in my legs.
Holy cow.
And so basically adrenaline got me out of the water, but then my friend Sophia, who I was with at the time, I was
Mhm.
like, listen, I can't walk, I can't climb, I can't do anything. And so she called 911 and they sent a boat out to try to find me. And they sent a helicopter out because we were in the middle of the woods, like 2 miles deep. So they had no idea where we were at. And so they ended up getting me
Jeez.
down on the boat and then they got me back to the marina, which is like where we started. And then they airlifted me out to Tulsa where I had like 4 different x-rays, 2 CAT scans, and MRI, and found out I have 2 holes, one in my neck and one in my lower back, and then I broke my spine, like, right in the middle.
Oh,
And so then I spent the night in the hospital, and I had to fly back to Florida the next day because I was leaving. So they discharged me to fly to Florida.
Holy cow.
And
Yeah.
then, I mean, from there, my parents picked me up from the airport, and then I've had doctor's appointments, and now I have to go through, like, physical therapy and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
did it tell you how you got your holes? The
Well, I
holes in
think
your
the
neck?
medical term was compression fracture.
Yeah.
Is that the holes?
Those
No,
are-
that's
The
the
middle part.
fracture in the middle of the back.
I don't
Oh.
really know.
The-
To be
the
honest, I was
holes are,
pretty
like-
out of
Are
it.
they like cysts?
It's
No.
like enlarged something on the discs.
Oh,
Uh,
They're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But-
So,
Holy cow.
dude.
yeah.
So
So I
you
got
found that out.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy because I called, like, right before I left. I didn't have, like, my phone. I didn't have a license. I didn't have anything on me. So when they picked me up and brought me, like, I couldn't call. I couldn't do anything. I just knew my mom's phone number. So my mom got a phone from the ER saying that I was there, and then had to go through, like, that whole process with her.
That's scary.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And
My
what was
poor dad's
Christian?
going to get a big bill soon.
Yeah, and all she can talk about is
That insurance.
I got
be
to ride in a
hitting.
helicopter.
I got to ride in a helicopter.
Gets
That's
it.
the only thing.
That's
the
the
only
one way to
takeaway
do
she's
it.
had. The only takeaway she's had.
Can I ask a
the
dumb
most
question?
experience.
So, cliff jumping.
Uh-huh.
Are you on like a bungee, or how does that?
No, it's
Straight
No.
like
jumping.
literally.
It's
It's
a-
into the
Is it
water.
into the water?
It's
Yeah.
into the
Oh,
water.
okay.
So, but for people who have cliff jumped before,
I just call it
you-
waterfall jumping.
so okay, yeah, that,
Like it's- if
that
it's a
is what I
waterfall.
Well, that's
yeah.
a little bit different.
Yeah.
If there's a waterfall there.
That's
But
true.
like, even if you're jumping off of like 30-foot cliffs, everybody's like fully clothed, wearing shoes.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Oh, I don't wear shoes. when I
and
do
she was
that.
wearing a bathing suit,
Yeah.
jumping off a 70-foot cliff.
I
'Cause
didn't
even
think
when
there
you're
was a
sick,
I
No
didn't think there-
shoes, no nothing.
So I did. I jumped off. It was in Costa Rica. I jumped off a 40-foot. I remember that being wild, but I was just in a bathing suit for that.
Was
yeah,
there a waterfall?
it's not something
Yeah.
like
So like when a waterfall that breaks the water tension, so
That's
that
true.
helps out a lot. This was just
It's
just
still
straight cliff.
hurt like the dickens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, I'm sure.
My
But yeah.
buddy had his legs a little spread when he went.
Ooh.
Ooh.
that would suck.
Yeah.
It's generational pain, is what
Yeah,
it
that's-
is.
Yeah, it's- yeah,
It's a
they'll be feeling that
generational
for a
curse
little
right
bit.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was I landed like on like my back, and so like I had bruises like
Dang.
all up my legs. And then I got to tell Christian. I like texted him.
Guess
was like,
what?
"Hey,
Well, 'cause
man."
I'm like, I'm talking to my friends, and she's like, and I'm like on my
Oh yeah,
computer.
we were in a Discord together.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
all this.
And
Oh, when it
she's
happened?
like,
Yeah.
and she was
When we
like,
got the call.
she like sends me a video, and I kind of watched the video, but I didn't really think of like, I didn't inspect it like, oh, she definitely just messed her landing up. It was more like you could see her like waving her arms, you know, like she's like losing balance, and then she just like hit the water. Like you could see her feet hit first, but she was definitely off balance. And so I liked the video, and I was like, oh, that looks fun, you know. And then she's like, and then like 5-10 minutes later, she's like, I'm going to the ER. We just called 911. Like,
you just
and I'm
hearted
like,
you just heart the
I'm like,
video.
no, this is something that you definitely say. Like,
He hearted the
You're-
video, and
you're
I was like, I'm
joking.
in a helicopter.
and
Okay.
I'm
I'm
like-
literally dying.
I
right
might
now.
be dying right
no.
now.
And I was like, oh, you're funny. Like that's funny. She's like, no, I'm serious. Like, and then she called me, and she's like, I can't move my neck, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I just said that repeatedly. But then I was like, well, can you move your toes? Like I saw the video, you swam out of the water,
Yeah.
so you obviously have motor function below your waist.
Yeah, which is good.
But
Yeah.
she was like, I can't move my neck.
But not gonna lie, the only reason I'm pretty sure that like got me. So when I was jumping, you know how I told you there was like a whole group like on the middle one? I like jumped, but I didn't want them to like think that I hurt myself. Like I wanted them to think that I was
Yeah, so
really
you
cool.
just powered through it.
So I
Not
just
the-
powered through, and I didn't tell anyone.
I mean,
So they're
embarrassment is
all-
a powerful thing,
I
man.
mean, they saw the
True.
helicopter.
So
when it
they're
rolled
all
in,
still
so.
jumping when the helicopter came and pulled me out. Like it was like
I
I was
wonder if
like,
they were
I
like,
can't
maybe
look
we
now.
shouldn't jump here.
What was
they
it?
did
It was
that.
called 10 kill. Is that what?
it was called 10 killers.
Yeah, it should be 11 killers.
It's 11 now.
10 and a half.
10
10 and a half. No, she's not dead. She's not
Yeah,
dead
the 10
yet.
and a half.
Yeah, well, what have you learned?
We're gonna
Nothing,
go
hopefully.
skydiving next
Helicopter
time.
rides
No,
are
we're
expensive.
not.
Yeah.
Because we have a parachute.
Oh
we
my
have
goodness.
something.
That's what you need
There's-
to do.
There's
yeah.
always there's no
Next
voice of
time, just
reason.
stick the landing better.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying.
You're
I'll
not
just do a
allowed to
flip
travel
next
without
time.
Christian.
Why'd I just jump?
That's
I
the
don't-
lesson.
I don't think that's the solution.
Yeah, what's crazy is I was like, I'm gonna do a flip. Like that's what I thought I was gonna do. And I've never been able to do flips in the water. So I was like, I'm just gonna go for it.
I'm glad you didn't
I'm
dive
just-
into it.
Yeah.
Just like
Just-
straight like
Yeah, you
That
never
would've
told
been-
me that part.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna dive
She's
actually.
like, I'm just gonna do a flip.
2024
You
Olympics.
ever seen a swan dive?
Oh.
No, the funny thing is, she's the most like uncoordinated person ever.
no.
Like if she tried to do like an assisted backflip, she would land on her.
No,
mouth.
it wouldn't work. I'm awful.
Ugh.
Like you wouldn't pass a sobriety test in the field if you were sober.
That's crazy.
But I mean that.
That's
Like I
so
don't
good.
think you would.
In a loving way.
That's crazy. I think I would. Should we do it right now?
Well, we have to wait because
Yeah,
you
we
got
have-
some
yeah.
assistance right
I
now.
can do it.
You have a little liquid courage on you. So
And a brace to keep her steady.
yeah, the braces obviously help.
So in like 6 to 8 weeks, we'll talk.
Weeks.
to
Let's
you.
see.
We'll reevaluate.
We'll reevaluate. Yeah. Well, at least you're home.
Yeah, so that was my
Yeah.
experience last
Wow.
week.
That's crazy. It's only been a week. Dude.
I know.
Well, now she has to say. Well, tomorrow she has to say.
And isn't it rough? It
last
happened
week
in Oklahoma.
or a week ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she
Yeah.
always
That's
Both
sad.
times
she
that
always, she
It could
always,
be in,
like,
like, a
is in a
cool state.
life-threatening
Sorry, Oklahoma.
situation that's like
away from you.
always away. Yeah, because she was like
Yeah, so
dying with
last
COVID
year,
last summer.
this like exact time, Christian was on the road for student life, and I went to camp and ended up getting heat exhaustion and COVID at the same time, and ended up in the ER with 106 fever.
Like, yeah.
And
That's
I just,
insane.
I'm pretty sure I just texted Christian too and was like,
I'm about
"Hey
to
man,
die.
I'm going to the ER."
Like, hey, I'm going to the ER, and I'm like, no, you're not.
Do you think is it a white person thing or like a
I don't
blonde
know.
person? Thing?
I don't know. It's her.
I think it's a female.
Well,
the-
I wonder
it's
because
the
like,
immunity thing. You have an immunity thing, don't you?
Yeah,
what's an immunity thing?
I just have like,
Your immune
I have
system.
Her immune system
it's
is
just
off.
shot.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's no good. Oh,
no good.
and she was running off of like Celsius.
Iced coffee.
heck yeah.
Because it was just
Not-
camp
not
food,
eating
and I
camp
was
food.
like, I'm not gonna eat like
When
I'm
at
not gonna
camp,
eat
You
yeah.
camp
need
food.
something.
And so I just
Holy
drank
cow.
Celsius the whole time, and
Yeah.
then
Well,
I got to the hospital, and they're like, "You
Have you
lost."
seen those things outside the can?
No.
it's like
Don't.
yellow.
You'll
Oh.
never. You'll. It looks like plutonium.
Yeah. It could glow.
I think it does. When Monster looks healthy compared to it.
Dude,
Yeah.
the Lonnie can, I saw that there was a rat inside one. Like, constructed, like.
Absolutely
unopened.
not.
You can't
Never
want 'em all.
Like,
drinking that.
Alani? Yeah,
Never
it
drinking
was.
that ever again.
It was
Honestly, Alani's
disgusting.
tastes gross.
It tastes like
I
cotton
never
candy.
had one.
Like it's
Yeah, I
just
don't like
straight
it.
sugar.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
But, like, it was a full size rat in the can.
Dang.
Like, they sealed it in. It was disgusting.
What are they doing there?
Plant-
It was, yeah, I was like, there's no way.
Where did they find that?
They bought it.
Well, yeah,
It-
but
I don't-
where? Like, what's
Probably
I need
a
to make
South
sure
American
so I don't.
company.
How'd it fit? That's what I want to know.
They crammed it in there.
They can
You're
get.
right.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
can
Like
get
this
anywhere.
rat is going in that can.
Yeah. Yeah, they had to shove them in.
Well, because I feel like I'm similar, but the complete opposite. In that I push myself a lot, but I also almost never get sick, and I can usually just somehow sneak by with stuff. So when I do get sick, I'm in denial, and I'm like, nah, that's not real.
Yeah.
And then that's when I get really hurt.
So she's always like, yeah, far away. But also, when we first, I don't want this to be about us, but when we first started dating,
This is the
No,
couples
don't-
This
edition.
no,
turned
you
into a
can't say
couples
anything.
therapy.
You can't say
when we
anything.
first started, we'd been dating for maybe 3 months, and I was still working at the cable park,
Oh, good old
and
days.
so I was wakeboarding one day, and okay, so this is the second time that this had happened, but I dislocated my
It was
shoulder.
only the second time.
Yeah,
I thought you.
well, technically the third, but other
There
shoulder.
you go.
So first
I just remember
time,
your arm
Second
being
time
in
with
a-
her.
Yeah,
in a
so first
sling
time-
for like
first time,
5 months.
first time left shoulder, second time right shoulder, third time. This time I'm talking about left shoulder again. So I dislocated my shoulder, and I wasn't able to set it back in because when I did my right shoulder, it was able to like kind of just roll back into place, and so I'm like in the ER and I'm like chilling, and then I call her. No, I didn't, because I knew she was at the movies with some friends, and so I texted her and I'm like, "Hey, I'm in the ER. I dislocated my shoulder," and she was like, "Oh, okay. I'm at the movies."
And he was like, "Hey, can you call me?" So I walked out and I called him, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm at the ER with my mom." And I was like, "Okay, well, I still have dinner plans after
Yeah,
this."
and so she was like, not committed
Oh,
at
you're fine.
all. She
I was like,
just,
"We're only 3 months in. Like,
Yeah,
is
we're
this
How
really
committed
serious?"
should I be in this 3
It's
month
like, I don't want
Yeah.
this to be like how I meet your mom, like in the ER.
I don't think we're
I don't think you
hospital
had-
official
no,
yet.
you had met my parents by then.
Yeah,
You,
I
you'd
was
met
like,
my parents by then.
he'll be fine.
So how
But-
long have we been dating now? How long is this?
Now,
Yeah, currently.
A year and a half.
yeah,
Oh,
over
wow.
a year and a half.
Oh wow.
So it's gotten a little bit
Congrats,
stronger.
guys.
So like, if he ended up in the ER
But
now,
we've
I'd
never,
probably
like-
show up.
Yeah, out of all of our hospital experiences, neither one of us has been there
We've
for each
never
other.
been
at
there
a
for each
hospital.
other.
That's crazy.
But hopefully we stay out of the hospital. So that's
So did you have in your head some like revenge, like a little petty revenge?
well, that's why I call her laser tag.
That's how you get back.
No, actually, she's mean to me.
Oh, what?
I can see that.
Hear that?
I can see that.
No. Petty revenge? I don't think.
I think we're both super petty, like in the moment. Like,
Okay.
no, Christian
people
is
not
so
watching,
petty.
I just made a
This is turning
face.
into couples therapy, man.
You're right.
Christian
not
is
couples therapy.
so petty.
This is supposed to be about you. Okay, stop. No. No, I don't. I mean, I don't think so. In the moment, yes.
Yeah,
I'm like,
see, oh, what did you see?
And the truth comes out.
Bro.
but no, but I don't go to sleep at night and I'm like, I'm not gonna text her goodnight because I'm gonna be petty tonight.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever missed.
I'm not gonna say.
good night.
I'm not gonna be like, no.
Not tonight.
today.
You're on your own.
You're on your own.
Not tonight, buddy.
I hope you sleep okay.
I don't hope you sleep okay.
Yeah.
Have a bad night,
I
actually.
hope your
Have
bed
a
is
terrible night.
I hope your pillowcase is warm.
We've made like a point, like
I've said that before.
yeah, she has. I mean, we've always made it a point to be like, well, we don't want to be mad at each other,
Yeah.
you know.
That's
don't-
good.
But
I feel like this is couples therapy, but
no,
yeah.
it's not.
It is.
I just merely wanted to state that I would have flown to Oklahoma last week.
If she was about to
If-
Really?
if it had
You
gotten
told me you
worse.
wouldn't have.
I did. I was asking your sister. I'm like, hey, if you guys are gonna go, tell me because I'll go.
He didn't tell me that.
And
I
when
just
I
almost
dislocated
died
my
there.
shoulder and I
It's
was in the hospital,
That was 3 months
She was
in.
like,
We're a year and a
I
half
have dinner
now.
plans. I'm not gonna. I don't know.
We're a year and a half now, and I was like in a helicopter. Like
yeah, but
this
he didn't have a
very-
chance to make it even. So
Yeah.
Next
Yeah.
time.
This was him making
this
good.
time next year. I'm just kidding.
No,
Don't say it out loud.
no, because
Knock on
but I
some
would
wood.
be careful. Mark this week on your calendar.
well,
Wrap
day
me in
is
bubble
it?
wrap.
yeah. Well,
August
it's funny because
17th.
when I dislocated my shoulder, it was almost a year to the day.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nearly
'cause
the
it was
same
it was
week.
it was
Like, it was
like the
crazy.
week before Easter. Because the first time I dislocated my shoulder, I was out for like a really long time not playing drums, and then I
But
did
we
it
didn't
almost
know each-
exactly.
We didn't know each other then, so I had nothing to do with that one or not showing
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
That's your little disclaimer.
Oh,
Yeah.
also too, this is your
Side point.
55th episode.
Oh yeah, this is number 55.
episode
55.
55. That's
Episode
crazy.
I forgot to
55.
say that. Thanks.
Good
job, Blake.
Halfway there.
Good job,
This is
Blake.
why Blake's
That's
here.
why I'm here.
That's why Blake's here. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
That's it.
He knows more about my show than I do.
Yeah,
And that's not even a joke. That's real.
that is real. Yeah,
I'm just here to support you, man.
but
Thank you. It means a lot.
yeah. So you almost died.
Yeah.
Nice.
Period.
It's pretty wild.
They say life and death experiences bring y'all together.
Did
Speaking
it
of
bring
which,
us
Blake,
together?
Do you have any ghost stories?
Ghost stories? I mean, I wouldn't say ghost stories. I mean, I personally don't. I know
Okay.
my mom does. I can tell one from my mom.
I want to hear one of yours.
One of mine? I have a dream one. I can tell
Or
the
make
dream
it
one.
like a, yeah.
No, what about your
Which one?
not like your
It doesn't have to be like a ghost.
your
Like
zombie experience?
zombie experience.
my
yeah,
goodness.
that's a
Yeah.
good
Okay.
one. That's
Okay.
a good one.
Dang,
Okay,
you
okay.
Kirk
So
for
yeah,
that.
okay. Literally, okay.
Y'all.
So to put it in perspective, I was working at the church, and do you know the office building that's kind of over?
Next to the Joy Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that office building. So I would clean that basically from like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock,
Okay.
depending around that time. And it would be just me. And so I would be cleaning that.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing? So I'll be cleaning that from like 6 to 9.
Okay.
And then so there's one night I was doing my whole cleaning thing, just going through cleaning and all that, vacuuming, wiping tables, cleaning all the offices and all that. And like around the church is not like the nicest place, to be honest. But
Yeah.
It
He's
is
right.
sketchy.
it can get very sketchy, especially at night, like 9 o'clock at night. So I
There's
was
been
kind
some wild stuff that happened on that road.
yeah, dude. But like
Wasn't that the one with like a zoo?
a zoo.
Or was like I thought it was like a circus or something.
It was like a circus convoy.
yeah, where like the
Yeah.
bus
What?
broke down and like a bunch of lions escaped.
What?
I think that was
That's actually
What?
crazy. I've
that was
never
on
heard of
Parker.
that.
It was on like Parker.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
I think.
Cumby.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh no, yeah, it was on Cumby. because
sounds about
that
it.
reminded me because there's also like so there's that and then there's the Moore Road monkeys. Does anybody know about the Moore Road monkeys? Samuel shaking his head. He knows.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
so
this is
the-
a
No, you're
long-
good.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I was.
So there's a guy on Moore
Some
Road
Lakeland
who
lore.
has
right?
like
I was like, I don't know.
who
About
has like a circus, but
Oh.
he had a bunch of my friend Stan was telling me about this, of course, but
Those
he
stands.
had a bunch of monkeys and they escaped, but as they were, I'm pretty sure on their way out they let out a bunch of the animals. So like
They let
there's
other
way.
animals.
yeah, so there's like a bunch of monkeys like somewhere in the woods on Moore Road, and possibly
No more
a giraffe.
captivity.
Yeah, right.
So,
I want to get one.
Dang, that's
but
crazy.
all right, so that was the so now
Yeah,
back to you.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so I was cleaning it, and like I was towards the back of the offices, close to like the main street. So I was closer to the main street one. But like randomly, like the most authentic zombie noise, like straight, like you think it's like someone's like ravaging a human being, like just like straight, like if you can think of an actual zombie noise in a movie, that's what it sounded like the most authentic time. And I was like, what was that? And I'm alone in the office building, and like a lot of the lights are out because I'm like I did it so much, so like I was comfortable like just walking around in the dark, which is kind of sketchy, but yeah. But yeah, it was just it was but like it
You're
was
let me
like
go find a corner. This is where I live now.
no, yeah, it was just, and like it wasn't a dog. It was like it sounded like a human making the most zombie-esque noise you can think of. And like yeah, and it was like so real. And I was like, and I looked out the window, I peeked out the window like blinds, and I was like, I didn't see anything, but I was like, it was like
You're like,
so
time to
real.
quit the job.
Yeah, I was like, no, I
Done.
was like, so I cleaned up and I was like, I'm done now. I'm out of the.
Yeah, he was out.
I was out of there now. Yeah,
Guys?
dude, I don't know, but like it was like,
Because I was like, even down here, they'll be singing sometimes. I'm like, dang, they're really going for it.
but it wasn't. It was just like snarling or whatever. Like it was just like, yeah, it was like they were hungry for something. It was.
They were.
They were
That
hungry.
is so crazy.
Like it was so real. Like it was,
That's wild.
yeah, it was weird.
So what do you think it was? If you had to say
Somebody
something.
possessed or something, man. It was.
It was probably
They
like
were-
a homeless man. Just
yeah.
like, he
really hungry.
He had a
ate
lozenge or
something
something.
out of
He had a
dumpster and
loogie
it
or
was,
something
like,
in his
not
throat.
sitting-
It was eating through him or something.
Yeah. Like it was, but it wasn't just
Just
like
fighting for
a.
his life.
Rawr.
Right.
It was like a just straight like for like a solid like second of just snarling, kind of thing. It was like a.
Mm.
I don't know how to explain it, but it was.
Do it.
Do it for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dance for me, boy.
little voice actor demo right here.
But no, it was just. Oh, now I'm getting put on the spot. This is
Yeah,
weird.
I want to
Yeah.
hear it.
All right.
I'll put my mic down so when I laugh, they won't pick it up.
All right. It was like. Yeah.
I
It
think I've
sounded.
heard that guy.
No, it was like that, but it was just.
Oh yeah, that's Phil. He's right,
Yeah, he
right
was
up by the
just-
coin.
he's
By the
actually your
coin
neighbor.
It was
locker.
just joking right over there. But no, it was bad. It was crazy.
That is
That's so
Yeah.
wild. What do you think the chances are it was a zombie? and like that was the first and the last.
You know, I did. Oh, so
What if he just
to-
died right there?
to
Like
this
the
conspiracy
zombie
thing.
apocalypse was supposed
Yeah.
to break out.
So apparently, we're in Florida. Have you heard of the drug Flocka? I think it's called
Waka?
Flocka. Waka Flocka.
Waka Flocka.
But no, I
don't
think
we
it's
can
called
say
Flocka.
that.
But like it's kind of like a something salt.
Like an enzyme?
No,
Like a bath salt?
Bath salt. It's kind
Whoa.
of like an alternate, like
Very
a
different
bath
from
salt
what I
kind of
said.
thing.
Okay.
To where like there was a case that someone was like a human, like another
was
person
it
was
pink Himalayan salt?
no, it was some
I hope
crazy
not.
Himalayan salt, but like
Wow.
some dude ate someone else's face off,
What?
like
Nice.
zombie, like straight zombie. Like
Not nice, but
he went crazy
Dang.
off of Flocka and ate someone else's face off.
Isn't that's what
Christian
Mike
goes
Tyson had?
nice.
Maybe
Nice.
he might have a little bit too much salt, a little too much sodium.
It was a bath salt?
It was so I think it's called Flocka, but it's kind of like a type of bath salt.
Interesting.
It was a whole thing in like my 2016 year, I think, or something like that.
That's
So we're like-
crazy.
People were thinking that zombie apocalypse was coming because it was like
That was in
um,
2016.
I think 2016, 2018, something like that.
I feel like I heard something like that.
Because there was a drug that was coming in that was making people almost like
I know recently
cannibalistic.
they were talking about there's a mushroom or a fungus that
I've heard of the mushroom.
that when it's consumed it like takes over, like it makes whatever eats it like its host pretty much.
Oh,
No
snap.
way.
Yeah, and then
It's
it
like a
starts
parasite.
like
Yeah,
yeah,
Flocka.
Oh,
and then it grows out of like once it's done using the host for something, it just like grows out of the host, and then
no way.
yeah, because it looks like a root almost.
That's kind of like the Last
That's
of Us.
weird.
Kind of.
yeah, the spore.
Yeah,
thing.
that kind of thing.
I think that's
Yeah.
what they're
Any of
comparing
that.
it to.
Yeah,
That's pretty scary though.
dude. Yeah.
It's just like a fungus growing out of somebody.
That's literally what.
It'd be a
that's what
weird
it is.
No,
open
yeah.
casket wake there.
They said like I've heard them say like certain viruses, like if it like ever gets to the chance of like where it can like adapt to like overcome like a certain, like it's just like one step to this split side, and it'll be like they can kind of control
Wow.
like hive mind kind of thing of like
Dang.
controlling your nervous system. It's just like they're like really close, but like it's like that one wall that they have to break through that. And
Well, there
then
was
it's
that,
over.
Getting a chip implant? Is that the
There was that experiment they did
Hey,
in Japan.
the mark, the beast.
The Japan the subway system. Did you hear about that?
I haven't heard about that.
He
They
would know about that.
okay. All right. Okay.
Do you think
Use
every
Asian
Asian is
guys.
Japanese?
Not a racial jab. Okay. She does. For reference. She does. Anyways, they ran an experiment. Okay.
Wait, tell us about this experiment that happened.
In your home
country.
country?
Wow. People are gonna be so confused.
Tell us about your people, Christian.
because they're gonna picture me like differently.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For
I
those of you
ju-
who are listening, Christian's actually black.
Yeah.
It's the camera. We're using a different camera today, guys. So it's just a little the exposure's a little.
I start talking
crazy.
about like Japan, and Paul's like Christians.
We're just going downhill.
But they did an experiment with some type of like fungus or something like that, and it spread it spread over a map, and it remapped the subways for Japan.
Oh,
So like
snap.
yeah, so there was like a learning thing to it, and then they
Oh dang.
based the subway off of that.
Dang.
It's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Weird.
Do you think
Or
there,
they-
do you
they
think
ha-
there are
there's-
rogue AI just kind of roaming around?
Probably.
Do you think pigeons are real?
No.
No.
Have
Birds
you ever
aren't
seen
real.
a baby pigeon?
They don't
No.
exist.
That's true.
Or
I
hear me
never
out. They just stay in the nest.
No. You don't understand.
No, I'm sorry. Or they're the
drones.
experiments they do
Yeah, they
where
are drones.
they'll put a maze and the fungus will grow through the maze and make it out the other end.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Real scary.
No, yeah, like fungus can like
No
like that's what I was
way.
saying. Like it's
It's
like one
intelligent.
step, just if they make this one step, It's
Yeah.
Who's
over
gonna
for
start
us.
talking?
Yeah.
it's
They'll
over for
evolve
us.
in like 500 years.
Yeah.
so.
You walk outside
Who
and
knows?
you're like, the mushrooms are making fun of
Ugh.
me
Yeah,
again.
your tree will be talking to you out
They
front.
better
Gotta
start paying
move.
bills, man.
Wow.
Where this
So
economy is.
Pocahontas might have had something.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
It's those
But I do
mushrooms
have-
is what she had.
Yeah.
You're right.
Dang.
Ugh.
What about you guys? Do you guys have any ghost stories or any
Um,
supernatural stories?
Do you?
Mm,
I know I'm
have-
putting you on the spot for
I
it.
have one, but I don't want to say it unless you have one.
you go first, and then I'll think.
You're thinking? You have to think. That's pretty rememberable.
Ah.
Like, you see how I knew that on the
Too
spot?
many to count.
So many to count, guys.
Well, I do have I do have one I was wanting to talk about camp that I
that's
shared with
right, yeah.
Christian that I'll tell my perspective of it
Yeah.
and I want to see what his perspective of it because I haven't really heard his side of it yet.
I don't.
Um,
I also don't know what Blake is gonna say. So
Okay,
Okay.
so
just
so basically, little
trying to turn the laptop.
technical,
There we go.
but
We're
okay,
just making sure it's not shutting down on
Yeah.
us.
that would.
don't want to have another
Oh, don't
Run it back.
bringing
That just
flashbacks back.
puts me in a bad mood immediately.
All right. So basically, we're at Camp Decision. It's at Stetson University in DeLand. We call it Long Thing. Thursday night is like a night that like usually like at camps like that's usually like the big night that like everybody expects something or whatever. So it was like kind of like the four of us. I think it was me, Brandon Hull, Willie Baker, Christian. I think that was it. I think there was just the four of us, but we are all kind of like at the front of the row, and we're just like all worshiping and praising and all that. The spirit was moving, the presence was there and all that. But then like something shifted, and like in the worship set, and like it was like almost a shift, and like as soon as it shifted, it was almost like a freight train, like. We're all separated. We're not holding hands. We're not doing anything. But we're all like just in a line, and it was like a freight train that just came up and hit us, and like all of us, me, Brandon, I think Willie, just like I don't know if Christian fell back. So that's the thing. But we all basically fell back into our seats like in the exact
Mm.
same moment, and like
Did the band start playing Mighty to Save?
it was something like that.
No,
It was
I-
the, it was
But
the
like
do-
pitch.
it was just like
I do remember that because Willie fell
Wow.
on top of me.
yeah, I couldn't remember
Oh,
if
wow.
one of which one was that, but like it was like, it was like a thing where like we got hit by something, but like
Yeah, I got hit
like
by
it was
Willie.
like well yeah, but but yeah, but it was
But
And then
just
I
Willie
just
didn't get
decided
you
to
in the
stay on the
fray.
floor. You know, I was like, "Amen."
Like, I'm not getting up.
Mm.
but it was just it was a weird feeling because like you're getting pushed by something, but you're not nothing's touching you, and it wasn't like it was like almost like a gust of wind, but it wasn't like you felt any wind. So it was a really weird experience because I like something like physically like pushed me back, and I just fell into the spirit.
Oh wow.
And same thing with Brandon. I know I can speak for me and Brandon because we both had the same thing. And then I kind of look whenever a few seconds after that happened, I look over and like everybody was getting something. And it seemed like all four of us
Mm.
got it at the same time.
Mm.
That's why I feel like, but I never really heard his percent. If he
Yeah,
remembers
I
that
mean,
or
I
not.
remember just being like in that space and like oh man, how old would I have been?
I think I was in 10th grade.
So you were like what, 16?
Yeah, something like that.
How much older? You're 4 years older than me.
Yeah.
So I would have been 12. So I would have been in like
Dang.
No, I think it was like you were like in
Just a baby.
just a baby.
yeah,
Just
I would have been in like
baby.
7th grade maybe.
7th or 8th grade.
Yeah,
one of
so
those.
all these like guys are like 3 feet taller than me,
Yeah.
but I guess that's not the point. But I definitely
They still are.
yeah, well Willie definitely is. He's
Dang.
huge. But so like I guess that was like an early time I guess in my faith. Like everybody goes to camp and it's like those experiences, like I was talking about this with a buddy, but like those experiences shape how you like walk out your faith.
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't go to camp.
Yeah.
Cuz like that teaches you like, oh, this is what like a spiritual move feels like, or this is like how this makes me feel must be the Holy Spirit, you know?
Hmm.
And so for me, like growing up in a Pentecostal church, like when people are praying over you and you fall out in the Spirit, it's like you know what that feels like. But again, like going to camp and then
It's like, yeah.
experiencing that was a completely different thing.
It
Mhm.
feels
It's
more
almost like you're
personal.
doing it by your like it's on your
Yeah,
own.
so
Yeah.
so it's not it's not curated by anyone.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like we're like we're worshiping and
Mhm.
like definitely like atmosphere shift, and then like I'm kind of like on my way down and Willie just topples over
Just-
me.
Yeah, because like it was so weird. Like it was
Yeah.
just like a bus hit us.
Yeah. And
Like-
so like I'm like I remember because like they had these like really crappy
Chairs.
plastic stadium chairs
Yeah.
that were awful and so uncomfortable.
They were.
And
Yeah.
like I like kind of like was half cheeking on the end of it, and like we like everybody had like fallen like dominoes pretty
Yeah.
much.
I kind of
over the
fell towards a
chair.
little bit of Brandon, and Brandon
Yeah.
fell toward Willie, and yeah,
Yeah, and I'm like supporting
all of us.
hundreds of pounds of these high school boys
Yeah.
on my
Your
little
heroes
Little
in
baby.
time.
brittle 7th
Little
grade
baby.
bodies, you know.
Yeah, it's just a weird thing to like experience something like that like nothing's touching you,
Wow.
but you're getting physically knocked on your back.
So you say that was like a slaying the spirit moment?
I would say that because like it's just like it's just the way I think of it is just like the move of, like God's moving, and like sometimes our body just doesn't know how to react. So like I think like even just the slightest little bit of touch or presence can like move us in a certain way, and like it just so happens that it was enough to like push us back, but like we didn't like it wasn't like just forced or anything like where we get hurt or anything, but it was just like something just slapped us right in front of us, and it just like, and it was just
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it.
The
Without,
best
like,
way to
it's
I
actually
just
just,
feel
explain
like it
something
doesn't
like
hurt
that.
us, but he slapped us.
Yeah,
like-
well, something
yeah,
like
it's-
that for me is like, you know, when you've like you go to the beach, you've been in the ocean all day,
yeah,
and so you're like swaying back and forth when you get out.
Yeah.
That's like what it feels like, but you just keep
That's
your
like the after
momentum
effects for
and
me,
you
yeah.
just fall over.
yeah.
Mm.
But this
That's
was more of
crazy.
like an instant, at least for me. It was like an
Wow.
instant like
Yeah,
wave
like-
pushback.
It's like, you
Yeah.
know, like,
Yeah, I mean-
Just like that.
Have you ever been slaying the spirit?
Yeah, when I went to camp, I was.
Man, these
but-
camps.
Yeah,
taking
the
you guys
camps,
out.
yeah,
These
it's,
camp experiences.
Yeah.
it's just the quarantine of
I
the
didn't go
camp.
to
I
these
feel like
camps.
it's
I
just,
think there's just something about going to camp by yourself, or
Mhm.
just like even if you're with your friends, but like your walk is by yourself. Like whether
Mm.
what you're gonna get out of it or what you don't want to get out of it. Like this year when I went to kids camp, what I just told all the kids going in, like, you know, you're going into camp, but if you're talking during the sermons or during worship, you're not gonna get anything out of it. But if you put like everything that you want, like if you're expecting something, you're gonna get something.
Yeah.
And so just that like constant
Expectation.
telling the kids that that's if you expect something, you're gonna get like God's gonna show up. So.
No, that's good. Yeah, so I mean, I didn't grow up going to Pentecostal camps.
yeah.
Yeah.
You got the other side of it.
Got
Something
the other
different.
side. We got the word shoved down our throats.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what kind of camp did you go to?
Yeah.
Like what?
What was
like,
your
was
camp
it more, Was it
like?
more of a conference?
Was
I'm being serious.
Yeah, we had
So
donuts and
serious.
it a
coffee in the
Sunday
morning.
mass or was it a little Sunday mass?
No, I mean, it was one of those. So it's like, imagine the same thing that like a camp, like even the or the youth camp we went to
Mm-hmm.
that we played for. It's like that, but anytime where it went hyper spiritual, just remove all of that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's like the long moments where it's like people are up
Yeah.
on stage just
And
praying.
it's like end on the one.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like, well, we're playing 3 songs and we're done now. So
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
And someone's gonna come up and talk for 4 hours. And then
yeah,
where we might come back.
and then
up.
here's a sheet of paper with some questions. Go in like a small
Oh,
group
wow.
and ask each other these questions,
Really?
and then go to bed.
That's
So
crazy.
it's like imagine it's like the flowiness of like a Pentecostal camp. Remove that and just add nothing but structure.
Mm.
Mm.
So it's kind of like it's more structured and formulated.
Mhm.
But during that time, like while you were going through it, did you like the structure or like was that something?
Was it beneficial for you?
Yeah, was
Well, I'm an undiagnosed ADHDer,
Nice.
So
Okay.
Self-diagnosed,
Sure,
you
I-
mean?
yeah, well, I've been diagnosed by Pastor Sean.
Fair.
So he's diagnosed, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm diagnosed basically
Mhm.
by a man of the cloth, as they put it. What was your question again?
Like,
Did
did
you
you
enjoy
like
it?
the structure?
Oh, did I like it? In some ways, yes, because it's nice. It was nice to be like, okay, I know what's gonna happen next.
Yeah.
But then it also gets kind of dull.
For sure.
'Cause it's
Yeah.
like, oh,
It's-
well, like
Kind of dead.
it's like that's just what it is, and then you're done, and then it's like, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing I will say that I do appreciate. I think because my personality, I'm more of a go with the flow kind of person,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and so I like the. When I travel, my thing is like I want to have an idea of what I want to do, and then
Mhm.
just go and do whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you
But
don't want
knowing
an
that's, like,
itinerary.
Yeah, it's like I want one, but then I want to ignore it.
True.
I want to know
You
that
want a
it
Just in
backup
exists.
case you
plan.
don't have anything
Yeah.
to do, you
Yeah.
want to be, oh, I can look at my itinerary and see
Well, it's
this
like
is
like,
it's like
can
when
just
you
go
go on
do this.
vacation
Yeah.
with your
It's like a
parents versus
cruise.
when you
Like
go
it
on
has
vacation.
the
by yourself.
Yeah,
itinerary,
that's
but
it.
you can follow it or you don't have to.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I'm just gonna do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, that's
guidelines
exactly it.
that if you want to follow this, you can, but
Yes.
I'm going to do my own thing.
Yeah. So that's
Interesting.
kind of where I'm at. So some people really thrive with that, especially very like analytical, detail oriented people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that's where even like the Reformed movement is very appealing
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
because it's like, okay, there's a lot of structure, there's a lot of black and white. It's like everything's very formulated and structured, and it's like, oh, this feels great.
Really?
Yeah.
But for me, it's like I kind of like the confusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never
Sometimes
grew up
people
with that,
just-
so it's really hard for me to.
Yeah. People
Get into
want
that.
structure. I've
Yeah.
found.
And structure is healthy. Like it's good to have a level of it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if even inside like a Pentecostal church, if you didn't have any structure, oh, it'd be absolute chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be bad.
Yeah. You wouldn't leave.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
Yeah.
we'd still be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still be
Church
there.
is 7 days
You're
a
like,
week.
Dude, in
Like-
Africa, like there's churches go no less than 4 hours. It's like an all day thing.
Dang.
Like
Well, we went to a church in Ormond Beach. We went to Calvary.
Yeah, you got it.
Mhm.
Okay. And that one they only have one service.
Yep.
It's
Mm.
at 10 a.m. and it basically goes like as long as the Holy Spirit lets it
Yeah.
go. Like
Yeah.
it has no
It's-
cutoff.
It was interesting
So they have, like,
because
20-minute services sometimes.
yeah, well, it's like okay,
10
so
minutes,
well,
actually.
John Wilds
My
is the
bad.
worship pastor, so like
Yeah.
he's very, like he will go that long.
Mm.
But it's funny because all the structure is like in the like within the first like 35, 40 minutes of the service.
Mhm.
It's like, all right, so we're gonna do one song for 25 minutes, and then the pastor's gonna come up and exhort, and then the pastor's gonna transition, and then like campus pastor's gonna come up or youth pastor's gonna come up
Mm.
and do like announcements
An
and
offering.
then offering,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
then after offering they go back into worship
Oh, okay.
And
and
then,
then they finish
basically
the
just
set.
yeah, runs
wow.
it.
until the pastor says they're done.
Dang.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So that can be
And then
Works
after
out
the
for him if he's
pastor's
not
done,
prepped.
then
Yeah,
they
right?
come back up.
yeah, and
Oh,
so
wow. And do another set.
close them out,
Okay.
It's
and
like
then he preaches the word.
Oh, wow.
it was like described like a Thursday night like Pentecostal camp, like at camp. You know those nights that just can run for hours. Like
Mhm.
that's what it
Yeah.
felt like. We were at camp, but like on a
Yeah.
Sunday morning.
It was, I mean, we got out at like 2:30,
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
like 10 to 2:30.
We
That's
also
crazy.
went
Hmm.
on Pentecost Sunday.
Yeah,
Oh,
So
well,
that's
yeah,
an
you
extra
asked for
feeling
it.
right there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was unintentional. We're like, oh, that's
we both,
today.
Yeah, we both.
Oh,
don't-
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like, we both don't serve, so we'll go try it. And then we're like, wait, today's Pentecost Sunday.
That was,
That's crazy.
I was like, oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like that. It's for it. What am I trying to say? It's funny because I this is gonna make me sound bad probably, because when
Sure.
something like that, if I know that's gonna be it, then in my head it's
just-
like
you
I've
just
got to
won't
commit
go.
to like 4 or 5
Yeah.
hours, and it's like I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I think the coolest
Used
part
to
about
sneak
it,
up on me.
yeah, is it didn't feel like it was 4 hours.
That's cool.
like when we
Yeah,
left, it
felt-
was like,
it felt like
It felt long, but not like a long time.
it
Yeah.
felt like a Sunday, like a
Hmm.
Sunday at like FWC or whatever.
Yeah.
That's
It's
good.
like,
Yeah.
is it 1 o'clock? Oh no, it's 2:30.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Let's go eat.
Yeah, I'm
hungry.
starving.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm starving after one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I can't do second service
Yeah.
unless I have like a little snack before, because
Little
my
snack.
tummy be
That's
grumbling.
That's fair. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
a
I mean-
snacky snack.
I
Yeah,
got you breakfast back there, so
I know, but it's I feel now I feel like a jerk. I'm like, yeah, it's
I
not
don't
usually
want
stuff I like to
them.
eat.
I don't
so
want
I
them.
just don't eat
I just
it.
don't
Yeah.
eat it.
I'll have a banana.
Yeah, I could do. I'll
some
do the
coffee.
fruit. I'll toss a couple of pieces in every once in a while.
Yeah.
But I
Toss
don't
them
eat
where?
bananas in public. So
Oh, really?
yeah, the stigma.
That's his whole thing.
The stigma? Oh my god. Man, and you let me eat bananas in front of you?
Oh, he would give you
Yeah.
one.
He watches you eat them, actually.
All right. Well, there we go. That way. Maybe he does.
Hey, Christian, did you eat a banana yet today?
Oh, I haven't. Oh, it's
Is
8:30.
banana
Do you have
Whoa,
one?
Slow down, buddy. Slow down.
Yeah, hey man. Hey.
It's time for your potassium.
It's not a race. Come
I haven't
on.
got my potassium in. It helps me not cramp. And
That's
as a
true.
drummer, that's important, you know.
Can't
don't wanna
you?
cramp.
Can you die if you have too much potassium?
I don't
Probably.
know. Could too much potassium kill you? Here, I'll look it up real quick.
I feel like that could be kind of.
I can look it up.
I think a lot of things could.
I
kill
feel
you.
like
have
if you
any
had too much of
stories?
anything. Yeah, what are your
Because
stories?
this is a whole thing of like getting to know you too. Your listeners are dying to.
Ah,
Wait, before we do
they're
that,
dying to
can
know
I,
you.
can I go to the bathroom before we do that?
Yeah.
All right.
Take a little
'cause
intermission.
I have to pee like so bad.
So that seltzer.
So
Someone died from.
Someone
too many
died from drinking
bananas.
too much water.
now we can tell
That's
the
true.
embarrassing stories of Christian since he's gone.
Okay, who wants to start first? I do.
Go. I do.
Which is deepest, darkest secrets?
Oh, that's so good. I wasn't prepared for him to go to the bathroom. I would have had like a whole thing planned.
What is one thing you hate about Christian?
one thing I hate
Dang,
about
he's really
Christian?
going in.
Oh my gosh, I don't hate this about him, but when we first started dating, he like wouldn't talk to me like at all. Like it was just low key. Where we are today is pretty impressive to when we first started.
So you guys were dating. He's like, hey.
Yeah, it was so awkward. So we first met when we did ice skating, like as young adults,
I remember
and
that.
then
Oh
he
yeah, that was a
like,
big day for a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
That's actually where I met your sister.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah.
It was a big day for a lot of people.
It was some- yeah.
There's a lot of side stories
yeah,
going on. in
and
that
he
one.
would just like my Instagram stories, and then somehow
Oh,
we ended
dude.
up
He was
at the
laying the groundwork.
movies.
That's a pro move.
Yeah,
Laying the groundwork.
but we ended up at the movies, and he's like, "You can meet me there." He
Ended
was
up
like,
there.
"You can pay for your own ticket, and
What
we're
an
gonna go
alpha.
watch Puss
Oh,
in Boots." Is what he said we were gonna do. And this was Valentine's Day too.
That's crazy.
And he kept texting me. He's like, "I just want to let you know, like, this is not a date. Like, this is not a Valentine's date. We're just going to hanging out." And I was like, "All right, like, cool. I don't care."
just,
so
so
we went.
just so you know.
Yeah, he just wanted to let me know. So we stood by
Christian's
my
playing the game.
car.
Yeah. It's a long game.
Yeah,
He knew
it
what
was
he's
just
doing.
so anyway, fast forward, so we start dating and he like doesn't talk to me like at a church. Like he just acts like I'm like he's like, "Don't tell anybody that we're dating." And I was like, "What is happening?" Like he's like, "Don't tell anyone, don't do anything."
I
But
feel
what-
like he started out as the Christian girl.
He did. It was really weird. It was
He's
so
like-
weird.
We can post a picture of your hand.
Yeah. He was like
The soft.
he was literally like, "Don't tell anyone."
What time when you guys started dating?
Yeah.
She's giving us your.
I would say there was
your
a
beige
lot
flags.
I want to say
It's not a red
stigma.
flag. It'd be like a beige flag.
No, I think it was kind of like thinking back on it, like if my friend were to tell me the story, I'd be like, "That's a red flag."
Well, it was just I think
She
it was
said
more of
wouldn't-
like
you would
because
wouldn't
of
talk
what-
to her. You're like,
You
do
wouldn't
not talk to me
at
at church.
church.
Like, do not even look at me.
Oh, don't even get me started.
And then
No.
Oh, this
you're like,
has to
hey,
be
so we're
like
gonna
the-
hang out at the movies. You're paying. You're gonna
No.
meet me there, and this is the movie we're watching.
Oh,
I was like,
oh.
Puss in Boots, Valentine's Day.
control.
No. But
I was
that
like, dude,
that
this
was,
guy's
That was a move, though.
just
All right.
alpha move.
I
I'm
don't-
impressed.
I was like,
I
"Is
don't
this
think
guy
so.
a drummer?"
Exactly.
I'm impressed.
Every guy you'd say that to, they're gonna be like, "Wow, I'm impressed that she stuck around."
It's like, well, yeah, because you're a beta. That's why you were impressed.
I was literally just, I was
But
like,
okay. First of all,
Would that be?
we
that's an alpha
hadn't
move. That's not
when
even
we
a
were
Sigma
going
move.
when
That's
we
just
were
alpha.
when we were going to the movies. We hadn't been officially dating, so I didn't want to make it weird. And
Well, it sounds like she thought you were, and you told her you were.
oh, Oh, so I'm the weird one.
No,
Okay.
he is.
Yeah.
No.
It's like-
You guys basically switched roles. She was the dude. She was the Christian dude, and you were the Christian girl.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would
Because she's
agree
over
with
here
that.
like, yeah, like
No,
totally
she was
into me,
just
and you're
trying
like,
to get me to
no, let's
She was trying to get me to like make a move.
Yeah, I was like,
Whoa.
why is he?
he
Taking
was
so
making
long?
moves. You hear that?
Exactly.
She was like, "We're
movie
going to see
line?
Puss in Boots," and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Honestly,
All right.
That's a go to movie.
great
to be
choice.
That
honest.
is a great.
It was a great movie.
Great film.
Okay, but fast forward, we're officially dating. It's like worship night at our church.
can I tell you why that's such a good move?
Yes, you can.
Like that movie in
Because
particular.
I need.
Sure, that movie in particular.
because
I
it's
just need
funny
the-
because first off, the name of the movie is just hilarious. Like the
Okay.
fact that you get to say
It
that in a
is just the
sentence.
character.
Yeah, I know, but it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's just his name.
It's so funny.
That is interesting.
But it's also great because it's a kids cartoon, so you can watch it and enjoy it. You can watch it and make fun of it. You can talk the entire time, ignore it's not even there, or you can just make out.
And then
so we
you
did
don't-
none of the above.
but-
Like
then-
you
but
don't
then-
care what's going on.
no, because I am locked in on this movie. Okay.
But you
No,
see, like he
listen.
gave himself at least 4 different options on how to enjoy this movie.
exactly.
Wait.
But so like we didn't, and yeah, because I'm not a talker during movies. Like I do not talk.
Oh,
during
I
movies.
do talk,
I know.
yeah.
but I try to
Um,
be respectful.
Of course. Yeah.
Wait, can I just set it
No.
right? So
No, you're done.
she's
Sorry.
like, listen, I show up, I pay for my ticket. Like we barely talk walking into this movie. We met there. We didn't talk at all during the movie.
Because it is a movie.
We
I'm at the
walked
movie.
out, and he's like, "Here, I'll just walk
For
you
me,
to your
that's
car."
like a red flag.
So
if
he
someone
walks
says
me
that
to my car, and he goes, "Dang, you really need a car wash."
Okay, hold on. Before we get to the slander that I'm about to receive,
Don't look at
We're
my
back
First
to
of all,
couples therapy.
ever.
I very much admired the movie because of the way that it was like animated. Because it was
Yeah.
a great movie.
Yeah,
It was
I
amazing.
overshot.
it was.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
all the yeah, like all the voice
Ask your
acting was
caretaker
great.
first.
And what?
She
No,
wants
keep
another
going.
shot.
No, this is gonna make it seem like it's controlling.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
No, she's on medication right now. She shouldn't.
Yeah.
For my back.
Well, she's
for my
trying to be on
back.
medication.
Be. Yeah. You
For
shouldn't
my
have just-
back.
You shouldn't have just taken anything on the
Just
way
on
in.
medication.
You should
Anyway,
have sipped it slower.
That's for
Wait.
your health.
anyways,
This is
so I never talk during movies.
you
So
like a
I
sparkly
just
blue?
thought it was normal if 2 people go to a movie and just watch the movie.
Not if you've never talked before.
Did you hold her hand?
No.
No.
Honestly,
we did the
movie
awkward
dates
like
are
Did you
like
touch
I
shoulders?
I put my hand I put my arm
Elbow?
on the armrest
And it
And
touched your
she's like,
elbow?
barely
No,
No,
making
no, no, no,
contact
no.
with
I'm
me.
leaning the other way.
No.
We did
That's
the awkward side
crazy.
hugs. We did everything. Like,
You gotta start somewhere.
You have to start somewhere.
That's
All right,
Yeah.
so now you can
Wow.
continue.
all I'm saying is it's impressive where we're No, wait.
Okay.
the car wash.
The
The
car
car
wash. So
wash.
he's like, you need a car wash. And that's how we ended it. And I like was driving home and I was like, what
In
was
tears?
that?
It was.
I was
But
like, what
you
was
did- it was
that?
memorable.
You did text me.
She
on the way
remembered
home.
it.
Yeah, because we were like, we'll just text each other when we get home. And then we texted each other and we're like, all right, same time next week. And I'm pretty sure we did a movie
And
the
then we
same
did the
time
same day.
next week.
So it worked.
Same time next
It
week.
Same
worked.
time next
That's so
week.
good.
That
That's
was
so-
my line.
Yeah, but then
Yeah, that's
so we
great.
started dating and yeah, we're like on our way home because we officially started dating like at a beach, and then we're on our way home.
That's when I asked her out. Is when we went. We were at
Yeah.
the beach.
and he was like, "Okay, don't tell anyone that we're dating at the church."
Okay, so that's not what I said.
yes, it is.
No,
Like,
it's
also, we
not.
need to do a full background
No.
check on
No.
you.
I already
So-
ran it actually.
So I wouldn't be surprised. But no, it was like I didn't want a bunch of people knowing. I guess I just didn't want a bunch of people knowing I was in a relationship.
And I mean,
but like, why?
But not on the bad end of that. Not like
He's
no, people
embarrassed.
can't know. It was just like it's my life. Like I don't want people just knowing.
But
my
also,
business.
like, if you guys were like in my situation, you would be like, "That's kind of weird." Like him being like, "Don't tell anyone. I don't want people knowing." You know what I mean? Like that seems like you got a side
Were
hoe.
those the words
Like-
that I said?
Yeah, he was like, I don't want people knowing that we're dating.
I don't remember this.
Because my sister ended up telling people at church because she didn't know. And then
Ooh,
I
scandalous.
was like, hey, people know.
Yeah, but then I was like, oh,
Okay.
okay, cool.
yeah,
like, I
it
wasn't,
wasn't
like-
weird, but it was like, why did you
I
want to
wasn't
hide it in
saying
the first place?
I wasn't saying not to
Mhm.
like.
I mean, there was some like drama too that was before that. I feel like that would kind of led into like.
Oh yeah, well
Not-
that's another. That's for
let's
another.
not-
We don't
What-
need to
yeah,
hear
well,
about
we don't
I'm
need
just
to hear
saying,
about
like,
that.
So like,
no, Blake, what was the drama before?
Well, no, it was just a
We can
drama
do
of, like,
another part
instead of
two.
like,
We can do
let's
part
just
two.
These people have
blasting
no
it.
idea who you.
That
Nobody knows who we're talking about, so we would have to.
well, I'm
set
just
it
saying
up.
like blasting it that like we're dating when like there was some like past drama. It's like let's just ease into this instead of just like, bam.
I'm
Yeah.
toxic, so I'd be like, let's blast it.
It's fair.
But for everyone listening, I was not like a little. I didn't go and date everybody.
No,
And
it
then-
wasn't like
No.
that.
It wasn't like that.
It was just 6 girls from the church. It's
That
okay.
no, it wasn't.
I'm just
That's
kidding.
crazy.
No,
I'm just
people are gonna
kidding.
think that.
Honestly, rookie numbers. But
Well,
For a
there's
church
only
drummer?
6 girls in the
Yeah,
church.
really.
I know.
For a
For a church drummer, yeah.
Oh, that was the other thing.
He's a conservative
so
man.
her friends were all concerned when she was like, "Oh yeah, he plays drums," which was like the last thing that she had told them. And
Yeah, I
they were
told him he
like,
was the church drummer. People
"No,
were like,
don't
nah,
do it."
don't do it.
Apparently, there's a stigma against drummers.
No, there
And
There's a
I
is.
stigma
didn't-
about every
I
member in a
didn't-
band.
I
That's
didn't
fair.
know that.
It's just a worship.
Which is weird because he like.
But there's a difference between church musicians and just regular band
Yeah,
musicians.
yeah.
No, but then there's
Yeah.
a difference
There's
between
similar
a church drummer.
Yeah.
It's
And
like a
that's what
worship
he
There
is.
was
band,
there was a
Yeah.
church drummer stipulation that I apparently didn't know about,
Oh yeah.
and so
Sorry.
She almost broke up.
no, well, I don't actually know if she did, but
She made a pros and cons list.
we're like she does. No, she does.
Not anymore. I did before we started dating. It was a pros and cons list.
She had.
I
Can I
was-
tell? Can I?
Yeah.
I've tried to
Okay,
make pros
well,
and cons lists.
This
They
is
never work.
no. This is absolutely mind blowing to me.
I love this.
Okay. So she has, and you can't say anything. She has notes on her phone. She has a singular note of every guy that she's gone out with, not dated, but like gone on a date with or hung out with a pros and cons list.
Oh, I've actually heard about that. I
That's
didn't know it
crazy.
was real.
No, I do, but
I
it's,
didn't either until she told me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She leaked the secrets.
Dang.
No, it's but like looking back on it, like because I'm 21 now, and like just looking back at how it sounds pretty bad, but like just the random like stories that like I would forget
And
about.
she would write down
Oh, wow.
like a story
but like,
about
That's true.
like
So-
what they did and like how the person they
well,
were
even
creepy
before
or-
Christian and I dated, like I went out with 3 guys in a row, like, and then the guy before him.
And there's a stigma about Christian.
yeah.
but wait, but
no,
wait.
no. Because this guy, the guy before.
Don't worry, you've just been
yeah,
exonerated.
you opened that barrel. All right. So the guy that she went out with before was a football player.
Oh.
Mind you, if you're watching, you can look at me, and I'm nowhere near the physique of a football player. Okay.
You're like his
And-
left quad.
And, yeah, I know. I am. I'm literally the size of like a singular quad.
He's
so-
a midget, guys.
And he took you to the Strawberry Festival, right?
Oh, rookie move, man.
Was
he
that
was
that one?
He didn't
no,
take
it
you to
wasn't
the
that
movies.
one. That was the
Bruh,
guy who
that's
was
so basic.
That
the-
was the crazy guy.
the football player was the crazy one. The guy who took me to the Strawberry Festival was the axe thrower.
Yeah.
Oh,
The axe thrower?
The axe thrower.
Oh, I thought I got that mixed up. Wait, okay, so wait, tell me about the guy at the Strawberry Festival.
Oh, there was a guy at the
He like tried to make a move on you,
yeah,
and you told him no.
yeah. And I was like, no. So then I texted Christian on the way home, and I was like,
oh
what?
yeah. On the
Yeah.
way back.
Yeah, I already won. All right, with my
Dang.
Puss in Boots. Okay, I already won.
Honestly.
It's a pro move right there, man.
Yeah,
Oh, that's wild.
Crazy.
isn't it?
That's
Hey.
so good.
Take her to a movie. All right, it works.
Everyone's different.
Everyone's different. Everyone's different.
Yeah.
But it worked out. Look at this now. How
can
did
do
we
that.
get on this topic?
Well, you went to
You
the
walked
bathroom.
You went to the
away.
bathroom,
And we were.
and I was
wanted
gonna tell a
talk about-
story, and then I just got really sidetracked.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
tell your story now.
I was gonna say
You can
something.
just cut all that out and cut right to this moment.
Yeah.
We might. We'll see.
Because Blake asked me, he goes, "What is something that like Christian does that annoys you?" And when we first started dating, I would talk, and Christian would just say, "Mm-hmm," like all the
No,
time,
I would say, mm-hmm.
all the time, just like that. It would be like, "Mm-hmm, mm-hmm."
It's
Mind
so
you,
condescending.
You know where I got that, right? I got that from Grayson.
Oh yes.
But
I
we're
forget-
talking
oh,
like
I love
did
Grayson.
this for everything I said.
mhm.
Like it was just like, mm-hmm. And I was like,
Dang.
what is this guy's problem? But I started picking up on it. So I went to work,
Oh,
and
this
this
is bad.
lady
This
is
so bad.
She picked up your lingo.
absolutely like hammering me. Like she is mad. And I just look at her and I go, mm-hmm.
Oh no.
And she looks
It's
at me and she
golden.
goes, what? And I go, mm-hmm. And she goes, stop saying mm-hmm. And I literally was just like, mm-hmm. Like it was something that was so like he just rubbed off on me, and I was like, what is wrong with you?
Dude.
You're welcome.
I'm pretty sure I got reported. I was like, she was just like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, all I know to say is mm-hmm.
Honestly,
Because
it's
that's
so
all
good.
I've heard.
This guy's Grayson's, the way he does is just like it's
Mm.
iconic. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
like,
That's so good.
mhm.
It's so good.
I hate hearing it.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
now every time we
ASMR,
talk, and I'm gonna be like,
mhm.
you're gonna think I'm not genuine, but I am. I promise.
Yeah, that's no.
Yeah.
No, you're
Yeah.
toast.
It's all right,
But
I
before
bossed it.
you went to the bathroom, we wanted to hear about Paul. And
Yeah, Paul's story.
something about
Oh.
him.
What
That's
story do you
what
guys
we
want
were-
to hear?
We want to see just anything you've experienced.
your supernaturals.
So you're anything
Oh, yeah.
supernatural, any dreams,
That
any
reminds- I have
ghost
a
stories.
question for you guys too.
Okay.
But we'll save that. Yeah. I think I don't know if I ever told this story. Did I? About I probably not. This was actually my first. It was kind of like a half dream thing, and it only because it transcended into reality.
Mm.
So it's kind of a weird thing. It kind of plays the bridge. But this was actually when I was a kid. This was my first supernatural experience.
Oh yeah, yeah. You mentioned that before.
I
Yeah,
don't,
yeah.
Did I say it on the podcast?
I don't think
Or
you
was
have.
that off the pod?
It was off the pod.
I think it was off. Okay, well, I'll share it now.
Off the
Why not?
pod.
You guys get to hear it.
On the pot.
Period.
Let's go.
Yeah, and it's funny. A lot of these stories I've never actually really shared to like more than 3 people. So welcome to the club.
Nice.
Hey,
Here we
And
go.
let's go.
everyone
And
listening,
whoever
watching.
listens. Yeah,
And everybody else.
Hey guys,
It went from like 4 to thousands.
Yeah.
Um.
millions next.
So when I think I was about 8 years old. I want to say.
Mm.
So I was a young little whippersnapper.
Young lad.
So I went to sleep, as we often do at night. And so my room, imagine. So I was on the second floor. This is an Ohio house, so 2-story homes are not weird.
Mm.
Mhm.
But it was also kind of the room was lofted,
Okay.
so it was really long. And there's like a lofted section, and then a little cutout, and there's 2 windows parallel to each other, and then the rest of the room went on. So think of like a hallway with lofted ceilings.
Okay.
Is that the right word?
Mhm.
Vaulted.
Yeah.
Vaulted,
Vaulted.
ceilings.
Yeah.
Now I sound stupid.
Ugh.
That's okay.
So vaulted ceilings.
Ruined the
And
whole
so
story.
I slept underneath one of the vaults there. That kind of came out. And so right behind me was that window. Well, so have you guys ever, do you know what sleep paralysis is?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've experienced that before.
Okay, so that was a heavy experience that I dealt with for a really long time.
Oh wow.
And so it was kind of one of those, but I'd never experienced it before. This was the first time.
Mm.
And so I kind of like was in that mode. It felt kind of weird, but I was still like, so I was in my body, but I'm kind of experiencing the room around me.
Mhm.
But I know that I was like, I'm still asleep. Like I still know this is it.
Mm.
Well, I can see kind of weird peripherally this like darkness. It's like it's like this like weird like no real shape to it. Just kind of like this cloud of dark that came through the window, and it came over top me where I was laying in my bed. I slept in a bed at the time.
Nice.
This is a Paul I've never heard of.
Yeah.
And it hovered over top of me. And then all I knew is like, oh, I'm having trouble breathing right now. So I was like, okay, like there's this cloud of darkness over top of me. And it's like, it feels like I'm being choked. So I was like, that's uncomfortable. It was kind of
Mhm.
weird.
Yeah.
But then as that started happening, in front of me there was my. Well, it's funny. We actually didn't have a door to our room, so we just had a sheet that hung.
Nice.
And so
Nice.
underneath from the sheet, I could see this. It was the same kind of cloud that came through, but it was light, and it came underneath the sheet, and then it came over top of the darkness, and it was kind of weird because it's like I knew that they were fighting, but you can't really see it
Mhm.
because there's like these
Okay.
two shapes that have no form. So they started fighting, and then eventually they both left through the window.
Hmm.
And so then I am like, and I wake up.
When you're out of your paralysis.
Yeah. So then I go
Oh.
back to sleep, and I wake up, and it's the next day.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then as I'm laying in bed, I was like, man, that was a really wild dream. And then I start to notice that my neck is actually sore. I was like, my neck actually feels weird. So then I went to the bathroom and looked in the mirror, and I saw like these 2 pressure marks on my neck where someone had been
Whoa.
choking me.
That is
That's
wild.
crazy. That's
Nah.
insane.
Wait, is that it?
That's it.
That's it.
We never find out who chokes you or anything?
Like,
Well,
whoever
no,
It was a supernatural.
It's-
They're not gonna come. Well, hopefully they don't come back.
yeah, hopefully not.
Not in this
Hopefully
house.
not.
I don't even know who they are.
Who they are, yeah. The forces.
Yeah.
So it was kind of weird. I remember like that was one of those things that I was like, huh, that's weird, and just kind of
Yeah. Now
locked it in my brain.
you're like, oh, something was trying to
Kill
harm
me.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird. So that was the beginning for me into like a lot of other experiences and stuff. And a lot of curiosity on my side, which got me into some trouble.
Interesting.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Mm.
So I find it fascinating. And that's why I find it interesting to ask people, because for me it's like I have had a lot of supernatural experiences growing up.
Yeah.
But it seems like a lot of people don't, or at least a lot of people don't pay attention to them.
Yeah. I think how what am I trying to say? How people are raised, like that is a factor.
Their environment.
Their
Yeah, that's
environment
true.
they're raised in.
Mm.
Like I don't know how, I guess like sheltered is the word we use now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You were, but I don't know.
Well, that's the funny thing, because I grew up in a Reformed
Yeah.
church where no one talked about that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Mm.
why it made it even weirder
Yeah.
for me. So it's like, yeah, it was weird. So growing up, I didn't have the language to understand what I was experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew it was weird.
Wow.
So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so like I kind of have a dream kind of like that. Like it's where,
Mm.
like, it was like I was like 3-4 years old. Like I was like young, like little, like to where like, but I still remember the dream pretty vividly, to where like, so like used to live in Wachula, and there was a street with all the houses. It was a street I lived on, all the houses on, and I'm dreaming, by the way. And at the end of the street, it was almost kind of like a comedic Halloween on a hill, like haunted house on a hill, to where like the actual real life road doesn't have a hill,
Mm.
but there's a house at the end, but just imagine it elevated, and there's like that typical like bats flying around it. There's a darkness over the house, and it was nighttime, but like the creepiest thing was like there was a bunch of like monsters, like deformed monsters walking up into the house. And like I was like pretty far back in the street, and I was like almost like hiding in a bush, like watching them like walk up into the house. And like it was almost like a mixed perspective or like POV, because it was like they're far away, but also like I'm like like realistically pretty close to them. But it was just like they were just thousands of people, like monsters, just like walking up, like marching almost into the house. And it was like just a darkness and like clouds and like lightning and just like everything just going on. And I'm like just hiding, like almost like scared because of like, I mean, it's pretty dark. It's dark outside. It's nighttime. But it was just like, that was when I was 3 years old, and I still remember all the way till now. And I have no idea what it means or anything like that. But it was just like,
Mm.
I don't remember any of my dreams. And to remember that, it's just kind of weird.
Pray
Really?
about it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But
That's
it was so, I could still see it. It's like pretty vivid.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you guys have a lot of reoccurring? Was that a reoccurring? Or was that just
No,
one?
it's just a one-time thing.
Really?
I've
Yeah.
had reoccurring dreams. I have a reoccurring dream. It's whenever I'm sick.
Hmm.
I think I had it the first time when I was staying at a friend's house. I was staying at Carson's house,
Oh, mhm.
and this was like one of the first times I stayed there, and I got like super sick. I was running like a 102 fever,
What's that?
and I always have this dream whenever I'm sick. Is I'm running through. Well, I'm not really running. I'm like stumbling through like a dark forest, and you can like picture like the huge like thorn branches and
I was
stuff.
thinking bamboo.
No, oh my gosh. Here we go with the race, man.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Why would you make that joke? It's black.
I'm sorry.
That
Just
doesn't even make sense culturally.
What's wrong with you? But okay.
I'm sorry.
No,
sorry.
and so like I'm like stumbling through this thorn branch like infested forest, and I always stumble and I always hit my head like on like
Thorn.
well, I guess it would be the log, not the thorn part of the log.
Hmm.
I have that dream literally every time I'm sick, every time I'm running. That's how I know
Do
I'm
you
sick.
do you still have it like till this
Yeah,
day?
yeah.
Oh, crazy.
Like
No
that's how I
way.
know like I'm sick. Like
Mm.
I'll
Do you
I'll
just
have a
hit your
dream
head?
like that, and I toss and turn a lot in my sleep.
Mm,
And like I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, oh, I'm sick.
interesting.
Yeah, is the weirdest
So
thing.
you're wandering through this forest, and
well,
then
it's like I'm running from something.
you're running.
Like
Oh,
something's
okay.
trying
Oh,
to get
wow.
me.
Mm.
Yeah, and so like I'm like
Does
running
it
through.
trip you, or do you just trip?
I never see I never see what is
You never
behind.
turn
me.
around.
You should
Like I
turn
never turn
around
around.
next
I'm always
time.
running straight forward. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And you trip and you or stumble and you hit your head on a log,
yeah.
and then you wake up.
You should pray about it and
I
ask
should.
God what He's trying to tell you.
Well, I also have also
Especially
experienced.
every time you're sick.
I've also
that's-
like if
experienced
this
a
is
lot of.
reoccurring.
I've also experienced a lot of sleep paralysis. I didn't
Mm.
really have the language for it when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
But we used to live in this really old, like, I think it was a 2-bedroom house, like a really like old creepy like neighborhood, not really house.
Yeah.
But I remember nights where, like my bed, if you walk in my room, me and my brother shared a room, so like it was a bunk bed, but it was you just walk in, and then the back corner in the right is just the bunk bed, and then there was a window right there, and I was always afraid of like something coming through the window,
Mm.
and so I remember having dreams where I was like so petrified, like my hands would shake,
Mm.
and like my hands would be shaking, and I could hear knocking on the window, and again, like there was no tree outside of my window. Like nothing that I would know would be like making a knocking noise on my window
Yeah.
in the middle of the night, because yeah, and so I was always scared that something was going to come through the window, and I remember having dreams, and I remember waking up one time from one, but my fists were clenched and they were still shaking and I couldn't move, but I could look around and I can still hear, like
The
I
knock.
swear I could hear knocking on the window.
Dang.
Mm.
But like I'd wake up and the sheet like that I would sleep with would be fully pulled over my head,
Oh,
like I'm
wow.
hiding from something. Yeah, multiple times throughout my childhood.
Was it kind of like
Wow.
could you almost think it like he was kind of trying to suffocate?
Did
kind of
you?
thing?
No. Like
It was
I
just-
put myself
Okay,
under the
okay,
bed.
okay.
Like it's like think of like you're a little kid and you're hiding
Yeah,
from
yeah.
something under your
Mhm.
sheet, like your covers, like
Yeah,
you're in a
yeah.
like pull it over your head and you're in like a fetal position.
Gotcha,
And I'm
okay.
like,
Was it something like you watched? Like, is it some like?
no, like I grew up in a pretty, like as I was growing up, it was a pretty sheltered.
Hmm.
Like we were allowed to watch like other movies, but I was like first time this I remember having, I had to have been like 8 or 9.
Mm.
So like I don't I
Oh,
like
wow.
my parents wouldn't have been letting me watch something that was like
Wasn't the heffalumps in the woods?
yeah, and I wasn't like sneaking like trying to watch a movie or anything.
Okay.
And then I remember like we had another house. We moved out of that house and moved into another house. Same thing. Huge window in my room. My bed butt up against it. Yeah. But so like the thing is there was so this one had shutters, but they were always open. They were like the fake foam shutters.
Okay.
so that it
yeah.
wasn't actually like real. And then there was a palm tree. There was 2 or 3 palm trees in our yard, and then there was a bush like lining the bottom, like a hedge lining the bottom of my windowsill. So nothing obstructing the actual window where it could knock on the window. But I remember, and I think this is like what traumatized me, is I hadn't had one of these for a while, and then I had another one where again she pulled up over my head, like my fist clenched, like I couldn't move, like when I woke up, and then I just remember like trying to keep my eyes like closed really tight, like because like you like want to fall back asleep,
Mhm.
so I fall back asleep and I wake up, and I still swear I hear knocking on the window, but turns out it was like literally like a bird seeing its reflection on my window. So probably for the next like couple years, there was a bird like
Whoa.
pecking my window, and I think that's what like actually got me out of that.
Mm.
Like, cause like my
Hmm.
my brain associated that with the bird and not
Yeah.
something that I should be scared
Interesting.
of. Yeah, it was really
Mm.
weird, strange.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
But so like when you were in that dream, that's when like you would see things that weren't there,
Yeah, like so like I
like the tree, for
s-
example.
so yeah, or like it's like when you wake up in your room and you swear you see someone standing on the other side of your
Yeah.
room. Like literally the most petrifying
Yeah.
like thing you could ever think of. Like
It's like seeing your
someone
clothes.
in your room.
Yeah.
Like literally someone in your room.
Yeah.
Like the scariest
Yeah.
thing as a kid. And like I remember like I would like slowly open my eyes, like so slow. And if I even saw anything that resembled a figure in my room,
Mm-hmm.
my eyes closed like tight. But
Mm.
like I'm like my fists are shaking, and I
Mm.
swear I can hear
Yeah.
knocking on the window.
Mm.
And I always like
That's
envisioned like
crazy.
a cloaked something out
Mhm.
at the
Yeah.
on my window, like knocking on the window.
Dang.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's what I'm curious about. Just the different experiences. So I know for me, whenever I would get into like a sleep paralysis, I wouldn't be able to do any of those things.
Wow.
So it's like it essentially like my body, like I wasn't occupying my body anymore.
Wow.
Oh wow.
So it's kind of like I'd have to. So it's like if I wanted to close my eyes, I wouldn't be able to. If I wanted
Yeah.
to,
Oh snap.
like get up and move or whatever, it's like
Yeah. I
impossible.
just remember being so petrified I couldn't move my hands or my legs.
Wow.
Like I could still like look around, and like I had like motor function in my face, but I literally like I could not move my hands or my
That's
legs.
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's like like being like it's like out of fear,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so I don't know if that's like what you like. I guess that's different because like yours is like an out of body like
Yeah. It felt more
paralysis.
like
Like a physical restraint.
No,
kind of.
that would
Well,
be
it's
what
like
I experienced. His is more like
there's a couple ways that I would do to wake up. So or like get out of the paralysis, and one of them, it's funny. It always start with like wiggling my toe or my finger.
Hmm.
Usually it was my toe, and it's like I'd have to like start something small and start wiggling it, and then I could like eventually start moving my foot and then my leg,
like a
and
little
kind of
wake your body
work
up.
through my whole body to shake everything.
Interesting.
And eventually, unless I stopped, if I stopped, I had to start over.
Oh.
Mm.
But if I kept going, then I could wake up
That's crazy.
and like get full control of my body
Wow.
again.
Do you guys dream in color?
Or just
Yeah.
call on Jesus.
I
Now.
just
Mm-mm.
wanted to I just wanted to know.
I dream in black and white.
Yeah, she
What?
dreams in black
Really?
and white.
Mm-hmm.
No, I definitely dream in color.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dream in color too.
Mm-mm.
That's crazy.
It's and I only like I can
When
remember
you-
colors in my dreams.
When you picture something in your mind, is it black and white?
Mm-mm. It's in color.
Yeah. It's
Really?
only when she
Really?
dreams.
Do you
It's weird.
picture whenever you think of like
Huh.
if I say an apple, do you picture like an apple or do you picture the word apple?
Like an apple, like
Okay.
like you would eat an apple. But I don't dream that often. Like when I was a kid, like if I had scary dreams, it was because I was overheated at night. It's because I had too many
Oh, dang.
blankets on.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Get
I
off me,
always
get
knew.
off me.
I always knew, and I always knew it was something. If I had bad dreams, it was something I saw that day, which
Yeah.
was like so. Like if I saw a house fire, like I remember dreaming about our house was on fire.
Mm.
Or like I remember us watching this movie about how like a bus went through like a house and like killed everybody inside because they just drove straight through it.
Oh.
And my room was like set up to like my window was like at the end of a street, so someone could do
Mm.
that. So I
You
remember
just sit and
me.
watch the whole thing.
Yeah. I remember me like not being able to sleep in my room. Like I had to go sleep with my sister.
Dang.
Like I couldn't even
Dang.
be in my room.
Oh wow.
And that went on for, I mean, that was months for me. I started, I think,
Oh, wow.
insomnia because of that. I couldn't like sleep because I
Mm.
was afraid someone was gonna kill me with their car.
It's
'Cause, like-
crazy.
Dude, my
That's
mom
where
wouldn't
it
let,
all
my mom would
Mhm.
not let me. If I had a bad dream, dude, she'd be playing worship music, like you know Miss Jeannie, man. She
Mhm.
she
Oh,
won't
yeah.
let nothing stay in my
She-
heart.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
every
Praying
small
over you.
little thing, like
uh-uh.
yeah, like it
Bless
was
your
just
pillow.
yeah,
bless your
like
pillow.
just
Yeah. And it
She-
like it got to the point like my mom like they couldn't like it was a year. I couldn't sleep for like a whole year.
That's
and
crazy.
Wow.
my mom's probably the same way,
Yeah.
like anointing the house, like
Mhm.
scripture, worship
no,
music,
yeah, for
everything.
sure.
I just couldn't sleep.
That's crazy.
It was awful.
I bet. Not sleeping for a whole year.
It's
Doesn't
It was so bad.
sound like fun either.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
Mhm.
So I have a question for you guys.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you believe that the tree of life is still out and about, or do you believe that it's destroyed?
Mm. I don't know.
Like
Well, 'cause
the
is
animal
it-
kingdom, like tree of life. Is
Oh,
that
no.
still sitting
like
there?
the Garden of Eden.
The
tree of
Garden of
life.
Eden. So when
I saw it
when
yesterday.
God
Blonde
kicked out
planet.
Adam and Eve, he also put a cherub to guard
The tree.
the entrance to
Yeah,
the
the
garden.
garden.
Mhm.
Yeah, so they wouldn't go in and eat from the tree of life.
Mm. I don't know. Was it because the Bible never talks about like the tree being cursed or anything?
Right.
Like it was
It's just locked away.
it was just
Yeah.
locked away.
yeah.
Because like I think of like like the what's it called, tree being cursed and it shrivels up.
Oh, the fig tree.
Yeah,
Mhm, yeah,
like
the-
Yeah.
yeah, when he cursed the fig tree and then it shriveled up and died.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, was the tree of life treated the same, or was it?
Well,
Because is
I
there
don't-
is there
it's
like a
interesting.
is there
Yeah.
like a supernatural like power like drawn through the tree, or is it just by the fruit that it's given?
Well, so the Bible doesn't tell us like anything about it.
Yeah,
Besides that it was
exactly.
there.
Yeah.
mhm.
But it's interesting because extra biblically speaking, a lot of cultures have similar things,
Mm-hmm.
and they would talk about it as, oh, this is something that would give you help keep you young for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if you kept eating from it, you wouldn't experience death
Or
because
keep
you
you
would
from
just
getting sick
stay.
or stuff
Mhm.
like that
You'd
too.
stay at
You'd
like
stay
a younger age,
Mhm.
so you wouldn't get old.
Like the fountain youth kind of thing, stuff like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Philosopher's Stone, all that kind of jazz.
Yeah. And so it's interesting because some of these people today believe that because of where the garden is located by it was 4 rivers that crossed. One of them is the Euphrates.
Mhm.
And so a lot of people believe that's still the Euphrates that we know today,
Mm-hmm.
and that it's actually still being guarded, and the entrance
Underneath.
is under, like in the bottom of the Euphrates River somewhere.
Whoa.
Yeah, because I feel like I lean more towards that just because of especially like post flood.
So you think it's hiding down there
Yeah,
somewhere?
like I think like
geographically
Dang.
speaking.
yeah, that's
Mhm.
I would say like right now like
Okay, yeah.
I'm leaning towards more of that just
Yeah.
because like I feel like there's just so much that's still undiscovered in our waters
Yeah.
and just like even our lakes and rivers and all that. Just like there's just so much undiscovered.
Yeah.
And like with all like this shifting of like climate change and like the floods and all that kind of stuff that we've had, there's just like if it's something like God put there, it doesn't matter what the earth is going to do, it will still be there. I
Yeah,
feel
true.
that's kind of thing. So like if the flood came, it would be protected and the cherub would be there protecting it too. So it's like it's almost like it's there, but it's like
think so?
encapsulated kind of thing. Like the Avatar The Last Airbender kind of thing. That's
Well,
how I
tying
think about
anime
it.
Like-
into this.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I
Well,
think about it.
are you familiar with Gilgamesh?
No.
Okay, I'm getting real nerdy on
Gil-
this here.
Wait.
So I believe it's considered the oldest recorded story in history, called the Epic of Gilgamesh, which talks about him. You actually have it in your room right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna be reading it.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
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 So Gilgamesh he was. Is it? Did you start reading it?
I haven't started reading it. No,
Okay,
not
then
yet.
you can't fact check me.
I'm sorry.
You guys have to do that for me now. So he was, if I remember this right, he was the king of, I believe the nation was Uz, it was called. And so he was half divine, half human. So he'd be like a hybrid.
Kind of like a Nephilim.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he'd be like,
Yeah.
he was a giant
Yeah.
because he was
okay.
also huge.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this whole huge long story he goes on. To summarize it, basically, he's just out there living his best life. Gilgamesh. Uruk. There it is. I had it wrong. Uruk was. Thank you. I need fact checkers. But so essentially, he's out doing his thing. Someone tries to kill him because they're like, Gilgamesh is uncivilized. He's this awful person. So let's create someone else who can go and get rid of him, who's going to be civilized and take over. Well, they end up fighting him, and this guy's name is Enkidu. They start fighting. They end up becoming friends. And they're like the band of brothers. Then after that, and then they go and they do all these crazy quests. And
Yeah,
eventually,
now no one can kill them.
yeah, because they're just they go and kill like the forest god in this story.
That's
It's
crazy.
crazy. And someone's like, yeah, these guys are just going a little too crazy. But one of the goddesses, I can't remember her name right now, but essentially she's like, oh, I like Gilgamesh. I want to marry him. And Gilgamesh is like, nah, sorry.
Rejection.
So she gets mad, and then Enkidu starts making fun of her. So then she sends the bull of heaven to come and kill him.
Mm.
And they end up killing the bull instead. So then they make him sick, and he ends up dying. And then Gilgamesh is like, dang, my friend died.
Yeah.
And he starts thinking about his own mortality.
Mm.
And then they're like, oh, well, you need to go meet this guy named Utnapishtim who survived the global flood by building this giant ark and protecting everything. So it's like essentially he's a Noah figure
Yeah.
inside the story.
Yeah.
But he was told to, because of making it through the flood, he learned the secret to immortality.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
And so it's interesting. So then he goes and he meets him, and they're talking. He's like, "No, sorry, bro." But what he does tell Gilgamesh, he's like, basically death is going to come for us all.
Mhm.
Except there is a plant that grows at the bottom of this river, and if you eat it, it'll make you youthful again. You can extend your life.
Oh.
What's funny,
referring back to
Yeah.
and so it's like, oh, well, that's kind of an interesting tie-in. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Are they talking about the tree of life? And there's like a branch of it or something that was
That's so cool.
growing in a place where they could get it.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
I don't know. I think it just it got washed away.
It's gone.
I mean,
'Cause
it's a tree.
But then you also got to think though, like, was the Garden of Eden actually here on Earth?
Well, that's the other thing. Yeah.
Because if it wasn't here on Earth, then like,
Yeah.
and it was a portal from Eden to the Garden of Eden.
Right.
Like, there was a portal there at the entrance that it went to the Garden of Eden that wasn't here on Earth. And
Yeah. That is a crazy, like,
Which
because
is a
there
whole
are
other
people who go like searching for portals on Earth, but
Yeah.
they always lead like to like demonic, like it's always tied back to like a
absolutely.
demonic.
it can be,
entity or
yeah,
something
for
like
sure,
that.
yeah.
But like for you to bring that up is interesting because
Yeah.
like what if like there was a quote unquote portal? I don't know
At the bottom of Euphrates.
yeah,
That
Possibly.
might, yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Do you guys
'Cause-
believe in portals?
I don't know.
I do.
I want to.
Yeah. It's just
But-
so far fetched. I
I
get
just
it.
love making you guys uncomfortable. That's
No,
I-
like people talk about like going to the like these forests and stuff, and they're like, no, like there's a portal to
Mhm.
like there's a portal to hell here, and it's like,
yeah.
well, no one's ever come back from there to
Mm.
be able to actually confirm it, or
True.
no one's been able to document it. There's only been stories. Like
Mhm.
that stuff's creepy, man. I
No,
don't
yeah.
know. It's
I mean, because Bigfoot kind of gets tossed in there too. Because
oh
there's a
yeah,
lot of people believe that he's interdimensional.
yeah. So he slips
And he's
through,
just
through
like-
portals. Yeah,
Yeah, he's going back
He's
and
a ton-
forth.
yeah. He's like, oh, I'm in Ohio.
Can't catch me now.
Oh wait, but now I'm in wherever
Yeah.
or
wherever. Because I mean, there are stories that people tell where they're walking along this trail and then they think they hear like a Bigfoot or something, and they take like two to three steps off the path into the woods,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, "Oh, it must have been nothing." They turn around and they're in a completely different location.
No, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's
I not crazy as in I don't believe you, but crazy as in like I don't know what I would
Well, I don't know if
do.
I believe
Yeah.
him either.
I
It's
don't know
just
if I would
crazy.
believe- yeah,
because it
I
is
don't
like
know.
that's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah. Portals, man. I don't know. I want to
I
believe
don't-
in them.
so.
I don't want to.
So a thing I would actually kind of to that, I've been reading like listening to a podcast, and it's like during the Tower of Babel, it's kind of believed that like they were building up a Tower of Babel to it. They were building it up to a portal that
Mm.
reached into the heavens, and so that's how they got kind of like the Nephilim back down, like the divine beings back down.
Oh,
It was like they
interesting.
invited them back down once they were building that tower, that they reached a portal because they were learning other stuff from them at that time too.
Yeah.
That was a thing I heard too,
Oh.
that they reached a portal there
Hmm.
at the top of the Tower
Yeah.
of Babel.
I don't know if I believe in like portals to hell, like that type of stuff. Like that's kind of crazy because that's also like you could lead 100 people, and they all die and go to hell.
Yeah.
Like because that's like
Yeah,
kind of
that's the
taking it out of God's
first class
hand. You know what I
ticket.
mean?
I
Like
think I think the more like realistic approach is that people invite certain entities
Yeah.
into these spaces.
Yeah.
mhm.
And that I definitely believe.
Yeah, I think it's
where-
more of a
where people
Yeah.
invite like
spiritual
like-
divine beings
like
kind of thing.
like demons.
Yeah.
And basically like
Yeah.
they're, like conjuring demons.
Mhm.
They're
Like
they're like an invitation only.
yeah,
Yeah.
because and if you
Kinda
invite
thing.
it, and,
Yeah.
like if
Yeah,
know,
like
if you
people who
feed it,
practice,
yeah.
witchcraft and
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
Yeah, because I mean, like people were performing witchcraft in the Bible, which was
Mhm.
through demonic power.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
they would have been worshiping and inviting these. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
So like I
But
definitely
witchcraft
believe
is never through good power.
exactly. So I definitely believe that there are spaces on Earth where people are like, oh well, if you want to be able to do this,
Yeah.
like go here and worship this.
there
this
are like
name
I've
or
Yeah.
heard
something.
like different like islands too, like just like that they'll like specifically like practice that stuff on like different like y'all know like Survivor Island
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
that, but like not like that island, but like islands like surrounding it, like they'll like actually practice stuff like and
Yeah.
have people go out, which is just like you said, like
Yeah.
inviting demons.
Yeah.
and-
Which is like so scary to think.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not fun if I
yeah, it's like why
ever
play with spiritual
giving that
warfare?
invitation
like,
out.
It's like,
Yes.
hey, bro, God's right there, all right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mess with.
Why?
No, yeah,
why-
for sure.
yeah.
Like, you can have all the good right here, right?
Yeah.
Don't need any of the bad.
Yeah, because it is terrifying, and I think on one hand, because a lot of times we don't know what we're doing. Sometimes can invite spirits,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and that's where it's like it's so important for us to stay diligent. Because
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Mhm.
that's
For
what
sure.
I think that's what gets modern Christians a lot of times. We're just like freedom in Christ,
Yeah.
grace
I think-
bounds, and it's like that's true, but like
Yeah.
you're also doing that which isn't good.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think people give the
Like-
devil too much credit all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
They're like,
Mhm.
oh well, the enemy is just attacking me. It's
Yeah.
like it's just an
you
attack
can't
of
be
the enemy.
attacking everyone all
Yeah.
at once.
And it's like
Yeah.
it's like okay, but like what does that say about your diligence, like in the word?
You're putting
and-
yourself in
yeah,
those
like
places
are
where
you
you're
putting
getting
yourself in
attacked.
those places, or like
And I mean,
you're just giving the
like-
devil too much credit, and you're just letting it rule over like your mentality and stuff.
Mhm.
And I think we're kind of overinflating our own egos a bit when we say that. It's like
Yeah,
It's
The-
not really us. It's
Yeah.
the devil attacking us.
Right, it's
we
like- the devil and demons probably aren't hiding in your closet waiting for you.
exactly.
They're like maybe he's gonna.
it's
come
always
today.
this. It's the
Yeah.
slow fade that
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
gets you.
But it's like why are we so important?
Yeah.
Like what if
Well, it
like,
should be something.
what
you,
what have you done to
Yeah.
be like oh we need to go after this guy?
Yeah, well, it's not something you flaunt around.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
you're like, oh yeah, the enemy's been attacking me a lot lately.
right.
Like, obviously, you have groups
Yeah.
of people. You're like, yeah, man, I'm just having a tough time. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
But you don't be like, the devil is making my life super hard right now.
Like he's specifically attacking me a lot.
It's like,
It's
no,
like-
you just need to.
He very well
need to
could
pray.
be,
I'm like,
but
yeah.
probably not.
Just
Like
go pray.
probably you just don't have any discipline.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably
Well,
just
and
eating
sometimes I
bad
find-
stuff. Like,
Yeah, and sometimes I find like when people like, especially first start out as Christians, or even like if you've been a seasoned Christian, I guess, like just the point of like the more you like diligently get in your Bible and learn, the harder the devil tries to attack you. Like, it's the harder he works because he knows you're being more diligent. But it's also like, now you have that power tool. Like, you have the Bible and the Word of God to combat that. It's not like you're
Yeah.
falling into,
Yeah.
you know, if you weren't.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think that's probably what's like when someone's really diving and getting really close to the Lord on their walk. It's like I think that's when you can expect to see some kind of attack or whatnot.
Mhm.
But he's not like every day just going
Yeah, or
out.
like if
I mean, if you're
Right.
far away
like
from
I
the
gotta make my rounds.
if you're
Yeah.
far away
Yeah.
from the Lord, then you don't need
Yeah,
to.
That's
Why would
really
he even need
true.
to attack you if you're already so far away from
Yeah.
him, kind of thing?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You're doing
You're
his
doing a
job for
great
him.
job.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's why I'm like, a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm so successful and all that." Like, I don't need God. Like, I'm just so successful. And like, the devil's not attacking me at all. I'm like, well, that very well could be the case because like,
Yeah.
He wants
why
to
would
leave
he
you
need
be.
to? You're doing
Mhm.
great.
Yeah.
Going away from God as yourself.
Mm.
So it's just like,
It's like you're doing the work for him.
but like at the end of the day, you're gonna feel that empty void
Yeah.
that is calling out.
Yeah, that's reminds me of one of the churches in Revelation when
You
which
said you were
church
gonna
was
read
it?
I was supposed to.
Uh oh. Did I crack a seal here?
Speaking of seals,
Uh-oh. Why can't I remember which church it is? I can't remember right now. But basically, was it Laodicea? They're super rich.
We all
I
need
can't
to
remember.
study our Bibles more.
I know,
No.
and I just read it too. That's the sad
Speaking of
part.
Bible reading,
Yeah. I
Um,
didn't. So.
But essentially, so it's a book by Douglas Wilson called "When the Man Comes," and I think that's what it's called. And one of the things he talks about in there is, so here's this church. Yeah, I was right.
Nice.
Laodicea.
Period.
So that was the lukewarm church, the rich one. I think they were also
Yeah.
weren't they also the lukewarm ones?
They
If you're
both,
rich,
yeah,
you're
they were
probably-
lukewarm. Yep.
Thank you. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's the same one.
I don't know the names, but I know the rich one was also lukewarm.
Yeah,
There was a
that's
lot of
them.
them. lukewarm.
And so essentially, one of the points that he makes in this book when he's talking about them is, he's like, look at these people that think they have no need. He's like, what's worse than being, miserable, poor, naked, and hungry? Well, it's to be all those things and to not know it.
Mm.
And he's like, and that's the problem that I think a lot of times we end up falling into is we think we're good
Yeah,
when really we're actually the poorest.
and I think that's a big thing, especially in the West, in the West, yeah, over here in America, kind of thing, where like, because especially in a third world country, like they're very open to like, it's almost like it's easier to go out and minister the gospel to them because they don't have a lot, and like they're more accepting of it.
Mm.
But over here, it's almost like you have to pierce through the years of knowledge and the years of school system and years of like doing fine and success and all that to get them to open up to the gospel, just because it's just like they had all, like, it's just like you said, it's just they don't know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Uh.
we lose the who gave us the blessing.
Yeah.
A lot of times
Mm.
it's like and I think that's one thing that I always find really complicated or confusing. It's like God requires participation from us. He wants us to participate, and He says, if you do this, then I'll do this.
Yeah.
And so when we do it, well, it's easy for us to get caught up in like, well, I did this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did the work.
for sure.
But it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, because He told you to do it.
Yeah.
And then we ignore the fact that He's the one who actually blessed us.
And he gave you the gifts to do it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we hype ourselves up and be like, yeah, I did
Yeah.
everything, bro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I can't remember why we got on there. Oh yeah, the devil attacking.
Yeah,
the
that
devil
old
attacks us.
the old devil.
He be a
Uh,
speaking who
Mhm.
the devil is,
Yeah.
the devil,
The devil. Old Saturn.
little Saturn guy. But yeah,
That's cool. Thanks for coming on, guys.
Of course.
Yeah.
This has been fun.
Anytime.
Anytime.
When's part 2?
Yeah, when's part 2?
What do you guys do? No, I can't do tomorrow.
Yeah, I
Just keep
can't
the
either.
setup going.
just
Don't take
easier.
it down.
Yeah. Yeah,
We'll
we'll have
just-
to talk about it. It'll be fun.
we'll just cut it off and then restart and just keep going till 4 a.m. You don't need to sleep tonight. Just go play tomorrow. Just stay awake all night.
I have to be in Orlando
Oh.
tomorrow.
We can't all live on Celsius.
We
I
can try.
we tried. I have one in my fridge right now.
What kind?
Okay.
It's not a Great one.
She's on medication.
Shut up.
It's actually my least favorite one because that's all that was left.
Mm-hmm.
It's watermelon.
Oh, okay.
And
Leave
it's
it
just
in the
uninspired. It's
She
uninspired.
said leave it in the fridge.
leave it in the fridge.
We don't need to see it.
No, man.
No, it's not a good one.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a good one. But anyway, yeah, well, we need to do this again. It's a good time.
Mhm.
Swapping stories, a little sober Saturday.
Yeah.
So
So
Saturday.
casual time.
Saturation Saturday.
Saturation.
I don't like
Saturday.
that. It's really uncomfortable to hear.
I love it.
It really is.
Saturation Saturday.
Ugh.
We're saturated
Yeah,
over
alright,
here.
it's a tag.
All right, we're done. Thank you guys for listening, watching, whatever you're doing. Keep it up. You're doing great.
Like button, subscribe, do
Oh,
all the
yeah.
things.
I always forget about that.
Yeah, you gotta plug your
Gotta
thing.
plug.
Yeah, you gotta
Hit the notification bell. You know.
We're doing our part over here. You guys gotta step it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Nice.
right.
Well, I will talk to you hopefully sooner rather than later.